you ready to get physical? It's time to talk some piss and more. We gonna talk about it all. DVD, CD, UHD, VHS, books, Blu-ray. Who knows, maybe you'll even see the laser disc today. Let's get physical. We wanna talk some physical media. Movies and TV, music and more. Come check out what we have in store. This is the Media House Stream. It's time for some physical media on FanZcene.
I know it was like really popular because it like won some Oscars and whatever, but
Jimmy does that.
It's got the Mighty Ducks guy. Got that guy.
No! Yes, but no! He's not the Mighty Ducks guy! It's Emilio Estevez! We're the brand man! You can never have enough physical media.
Well, hello, fellow followers, and welcome back to the Physical Media show. I almost lost my train of thought there. Here on FanZcene Vids, messed up the name of the show right off the bat. We're doing great.
I think you tagged the wrong person on the show.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, Taylor Rooks.
I think you did.
Oh God, I didn't know that.
Some
I just typed in runner name.
across TNT sports person. Yeah, because somebody's like, Taylor Brooks is a fucking sellout.
I was gonna say
we got Taylor Brooks tonight.
Well, maybe she'll retweet and we'll get a bunch of people in here we don't know.
No, she's like, what the hell?
Who is this guy? I just typed in runner and I just clicked it, so I didn't even think about it.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't tag rookie. I think you got it mistaken. Brooks.
Yeah,
Also, I didn't do rookie.
I think you got time to
Oh,
check
that's
it. Well, are you a blue
That's
check
so
mark? You got time
No,
to
I'm
edit
not a
it.
blue check mark. I'm just still a lonely old Twitter ex
No, you got to
guy.
redo it.
Plug it. We'll see if she retweets it and see what happens.
Okay,
Let's go with it.
okay, sell out.
Who knows? We'll get some eyes on us. We don't know.
We got once rookie. Once rookie comes back, we gotta tell him to change his name to Taylor Rooks.
Yeah, we gotta have him change it. Well, I did shit. I can do that right now. Let's see how long before he.
Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, let's see how long before he notices.
Notices.
Oh,
Just
oh,
make
hell
it Taylor
yeah.
Rook, not Rooks, but Taylor Rook.
No,
Just to see what he
there you
does.
There we go.
okay.
But
Yeah, good.
Yeah, there
good.
you go.
That's good enough.
that's good enough. That's good enough.
Yeah, slow week for announcements though. We got
Yeah.
a couple of Criterion titles for October: Gummo, Pandora's Box, Demon Pond, Walk with a Zombie. A couple of Steelbooks coming. Wind River's coming to 4K. Body Double. Godzilla, of course, but I think we mentioned that last week.
Yeah, we did bring up Godzilla, I believe.
The Columbia said it's official now. I think it always kind of was. Well, we mentioned that one already, right?
Mm-hmm. I think we brought it up the week before, maybe.
Yeah. There was a couple of Kino Lorber ones. I mean,
You go ahead and look for them and say hi to the chat real quick while you're
go for it.
out there and together. We got FKHC 2005 says, hail to you. Hail to you, Tim Hayes. Glad to have you with us. And Doba Fett, glad to have you with us as well. Howdy. And what's up, Cowabunga Dude? Good to have you with us too. And Ace Hanlon, let's go as always. Yes, sir. And Deleted Scenes. Hey, that was me. Hail to you. And salute, Stephen. What's up, Dragonzilla? And what is up, Stephen Luther? Glad to have you with us. Brian Barth. Yes, Runner here. Oh, yeah. Hey, Runner. F your Best Buy. Troy Brown says, Taylor Rooks catching strays. Hello.
Not my Best Buy, just Best Buy, like all of them.
Yes. And hail to you, Anthony
company.
Draven. And hello, Random Brat. Okay.
We talked
there
about this, Brian Barth.
There we have it.
All right, we
If
got
you guys
Link.
Go ahead.
Link from Kino Lorber. Shane in 4K as well.
Mm-hmm.
Shane, come back, Shane.
Shane. I still haven't seen that Patrick Swayze like redo movie that Vestron has.
I didn't even know there was one.
Yeah, it's It's called Still Dawn. It's like a remake.
Oh, I
of
got
Shane.
that. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a semi
I
remake
just
of
saw it.
Shane.
I'm like, I've never seen it before, and I'm like, wait a minute, Patrick Swayze with a ninja sword? Count me in.
Yeah, it's like in the. Actually, I've been meaning to watch it myself because
It's like, how did I not know about this?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like another version of Shane, but in the future, like Mad Max,
idea.
Patrick Swayze type.
Well, it
thing.
looked kind of like a Highlander kind of thing almost. I'm like, but it's got Patrick Swayze in it. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll watch this at some point.
Yeah.
86.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, I would listen to you while driving to work one day. Now I listen to the intro just before I have to get on my car. Well, that's good. We're glad to have you. Yes.
And then we also had Antichrist and Zoltan, Hounds of Dracula, which is one I still have here that I haven't even opened yet from Kino, but getting a 4K now, it looks like. Otherwise, I think that was it. Was there more? I don't know.
I think you named it all. That's all I really saw, too.
Yeah, we got Body Double.
Yeah, Body Double on this 4K Steelbook.
Oh, yeah, supposedly... This is just rumor territory. Clerks, Chasing Amy, Jay and Silent Bob, Jersey Girl, and Dogma.
Oh yeah.
Scam. We'll see. Dogma was already announced before, but yeah.
Sad is, I still like those movies. It's just the person that made them. I know. I almost thought about watching Mallrats because like I'm in my summer movie watching mood, and that kind of feels like a summer movie watching.
I actually have Mallrats 4K. I still haven't opened it.
I have the Mallrats 4K too.
I still may. But also from Six.
I watched Mallrats not too long ago with some like college buddies and stuff. Like it's still a good movie, even though Kevin Smith is kind of
it's still they're still good movies.
He's still a douche.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Douche canoe.
But we do have a $3 super sticker. It's a lemon guy dancing blowing a kiss our way from Six. And you know what? Just for that Six. And since today, 37 years ago today, this movie was released.
I'd buy that for $1.
With inflation, how much do you think you'd buy it for now?
I'd buy that for $350. Actually, it's probably more like $30.50.
Yeah, seriously.
Anthony Draven, I think we brought up the Hitcher 4K last week. It was
I think so.
September it comes out.
That's been one we've talked about for a while now.
Yeah. Finally coming out. Brian Barth got Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid and Straw Dogs Criterion Edition.
Interesting.
Pat Garrett has much cuts as Blade Runner. Yes. You're still not seeing that movie, Pat Garrett. Billy
Actually, it has less. I think one and less, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Oh, we have a cat sighting.
Remember, baby, I have you.
Peggy C. Still remember that Quantum Leap episode where he leaps into a farmer and basically Buddy Holly is his farmhand and the whole you remember that? Like the whole episode he's singing the Peggy Sue, but it's different names. And like one time he's singing Peggy Sue and he's like, why don't you try Peggy Sue? And then he leaps out because that was what he was supposed to do. Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. That's all I had to do.
That's it. It's like they do a whole hour episode just saving somebody's life, and then all you just got to say Peggy. He's gone.
You just said that 2-3 days ago.
Yes. 2-3. You'd be gone by now.
I don't know
all right.
how many days, but yeah. I do remember the episode though. But yeah, let's get rolling since I think we have quite a few picks tonight.
Yes, I think I have 4 movies in total, but it's 3 picks. So Runner, I know he said like it has 8 or 9. Rookie you have 4. I know. So who let's go to Runner. He hasn't been on the show in a while. Let's start with
I don't even count.
I watched a lot.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, see, I got a lot of packs too. So
okay. So I just rewatched and
I think his
like a high school class.
Yeah, you're like chopping up big time. Oh,
Superbad.
Superbad.
Nice.
Okay.
So bad. It's no, I'm kidding. It's good. It's a great movie. I love it.
It's all
It's
right.
funny, it's other than Seth Rogen, really, but are you there?
Bill Hader kind of helps out with that. Huh?
You're like chopping up really, really bad.
You're on like a 5-second delay. You might want to
Yeah.
refresh. What the hell are you
Okay.
even talking about?
Superbad.
Oh, okay. I didn't even hear what he said.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Yeah,
after
I
these
saw
messages.
Superbad for the first time about 2 years ago, maybe 3 or so. It's all right. I think it probably would have been one that hits better when you're in high school.
McLovin stole
think
the
it-
show.
I think it's one of those perfect ones
McLovin.
for like if you're in high school. That's like the perfect high school movie. One of those type of ones.
This is one of the last good comedies, yeah.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah,
one of-
well,
it was funny.
And with its like point being like, friends and doing party stuff and whatever, and it's like, oh, we gonna be friends after this or whatever. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
One of
I mean,
those.
it's got a
Like
nice
30-year-olds in high school, but yeah.
Yeah, that's
hear
how
me
it
now.
is.
It does have a nice little, like, coming of age type
Brie
story. like-
Larson.
yeah, I forgot she's in that. Yeah.
Coming to Brie Larson. Yep.
And
Or wait,
it's-
am I thinking of 21 Jump Street?
I think you're
one
thinking
is
of 21 Jump Street. I don't think she's in
No,
it.
no,
Which
it's-
one? Which
it's
chick
a-
is in this? Is
Was
it
she in
this-
Emma
Superbad, Runner?
Yo, can you help? Can you hear me?
Yo, your shit's all
Yeah.
fucked up.
Wait, well, like,
Yeah.
hold on. Speak
Okay,
for like
fuck
10
this
seconds
shit. I'm
straight.
gonna
See
use
if
my
we can hear you.
phone.
Okay.
I thought he was on his phone.
No, he
Anyway.
tried to show his webcam briefly before, and
it's
didn't last very well. No.
he hasn't been here in weeks, and this is how he comes back. Emma Roberts, not Emma Roberts.
Okay.
it's Emma
Yeah,
Stone.
I was about to say, I was like, yeah, Brie
Yeah,
Larson
Emma
was
Stone.
when it was not
Emma
in
Stone,
before.
she was in that one. Yeah.
Unless she was
Emma
like
Stone.
a party person. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is one of
Times.
the better ones. Yeah.
Times.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill Hader
is
is
a-
funny too. Yeah.
Yeah, Bill Hader's great in it. It's a better Seth Rogen movie than. I mean, it could have been way worse because originally, if I remember, Seth Rogen wanted to play the high school kid. Because
Well, yeah,
yeah,
but even those two are still 30-something. Like fucking-
exactly. Because
When the police officers are the same age as the kids as they're
Pretty
trying
much.
to buy alcohol, it's like, well,
Yeah.
what are we doing here?
Because I remember when I was watching special features, he was like, well, "This was originally written for me and my friend," but then it said we was too old, and it's like,
Yeah. It's kind of funny because like Seth Rogen and Jonah Hill are iffy for me. It's like sometimes they're kind of funny, other times I'm like, ugh, get off the screen, man. It's kind of how I feel. But
yeah.
I don't
and Michael's-
mind.
or go ahead.
I can't stand Seth Rogen, obviously, but
Yeah.
Jonah Hill actually can act.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
He kind of proved that. He eventually proved that he could do more than.
I agree. I just don't like some
Yeah,
of
he
his
definitely moved
performances.
up
He can
higher.
perform, but I just sometimes don't like him.
But this is one of the better efforts of for them. I do enjoy this movie. It is fun.
Yeah, agreed.
But we're talking.
I wonder if Runner will say anything about it.
I was gonna say we've talked like the movie already, and he's like not even here. Well, I don't know how much longer we should wait before we move on and talk another movie.
I mean, if anything, I feel like Tom should just bring up a movie right now until he gets back or something.
I could.
I mean, yeah, we can go ahead because who knows how long it'll take him.
All right, let me see what I should do here. Actually, since he's doing that one, because I think didn't Adam McKay direct that?
Was he one of
Superbad?
them? Let me check.
I think he
real
did.
quick. Greg Motala.
Oh,
directed that.
okay. All right. Well, not
Model.
exact. Okay. Yeah.
Close enough.
Not really, but same family, different clan. I got Anchorman in 4K last week,
Nice.
and I also got the old Steelbook. One of my first Steelbook. Like, I never was a big Steelbook fan back in the day.
That's actually
This
a pretty
is one
nice still look.
Yeah, and it's got the first movie and the second one in there. There's
Does it have
three
the-
versions of the second movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Oh.
did it have the other version of the first movie, where they made a
Yeah, that
semi-movie?
extra one. And you get all that here, but here's the catch, guys. So keep this in mind. Even though it says, look, includes theatrical and delete and unrated versions, right?
Mhm.
It does.
Well, in the fine print way down in there, you can see that you can't see it because it's not going to focus. But it's only on the Blu-ray.
Oh, so basically, it's just like
Not on the 4K.
You basically get the same Blu-rays that were in here. So you
Mhm.
get the Ron Burgundy extra movie, the unrated versions on the Blu-ray with the theatrical cut and the special features. All that stuff is all the same. So you get 2 Blu-rays and 1 4K. Now the movie itself, though, is just the theatrical cut,
Mhm.
which the first movie is not such a big deal because the unrated cut, I think, is only like a few minutes longer.
Yeah, I think those
yeah,
type
the
of ones are
extended
fine
cut's
when
only
they're-
4. The
Yeah.
second one's a completely different story. We'll get to that.
Yeah, the second one is insane.
Hello?
Hello,
Hello, little boy.
Okay.
how are
Jesus
you?
fucking Christ, I'm terrible. I'm terrible. My internet sucks
Terrible.
ass.
Terrible. That's much better than your other one.
Yeah, at least we can see
That's
you.
way better.
I'm on my
Wow.
I'm on my tablet, that's why.
Well, at least we can hear you, and you're not
Yeah, I
like
can hear you. Your visual is good.
and you're not 5 minutes
Damn.
behind. And yeah.
When you tried your
Yeah,
other
no,
camera,
that-
it was pixely as hell. So,
All right,
You
so
know-
finish
you
your
know
super
what's
bad since we did it for you.
Yeah, we talked super bad and then we moved on. But go
What
ahead.
did you say about Superbad then? Like, what did you say about
It
it?
was super bad.
it's like a perfect high
Hell
school
yeah.
movie. Like if you're a kid in high school, it's like a really good one to watch.
Oh yeah,
when
you
you're in
saw
high
this movie.
school.
You
Yeah.
saw this movie too late.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I think it still holds up though, honestly. I love it.
Yeah, I don't think it's
Nice.
bad. It's just to me, a lot of the jokes are like they hit better when I was in high school. But like
I don't
now,
know.
I don't. I wasn't laughing as much on my watch of it.
I don't know. It still holds up pretty well for me, but I don't know.
Well, you're still in
I mean,
school.
you're still in that age. You're
Yeah,
still
but
in
I'm
that
not.
age.
But I'm not in high school anymore.
No, but you're like around
See, it's
the
actually
age.
supposed to play
high
more
school age.
nostalgic for people like me and Greg.
Yeah,
To be honest with you,
it does sort
It
of
could
have
be,
like
yeah.
yeah, it does.
So I'm like really in the angle of it
because
not
it's
really for me.
based on the experiences of Seth and his buddy,
Evan.
yeah, and Evan Goldberg or whatever, and like yeah, so like they're our age. So
Mhm.
really, these kids are, even though I think it's supposed to take place in the modern day, it's still kind of like it's all based on.
I mean, look at the way they dress. They still kind of dress like they're in the late 70s, early 80s in the movie.
Yeah, it's it's like a loose kind of like, yeah, it doesn't necessarily take place then, but it kind of does thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, they dress the way they do so they can like look older and fucking get alcohol and shit. That was kind of the whole gag with
Is
what
it?
is it? No, yeah, because McLovin, he wears like a uniform, and Seth is like, he's like, what the fuck, Fogel? Like, what are you wearing? And shit like that, like giving each other shit and all that. Cause what is it?
Yeah,
Jonah-
because he's wearing shit from the 70s, not the 80s though. Like that was the thing. Like that's how somebody in the 80s would dress to make themselves look old.
Cause what is it? Seth, Jonah Hill's character, he wears clothes that Evan's like father has in his closet.
Yeah, that's like that's what we're saying. Like, because it's like they grew up in like the 80s, and then like somebody in the 80s would dress like the 70s, so they're sort of slipping that in there, even though it's sort of like modern times, because it's based off their experiences.
Yeah, but like it definitely doesn't. It definitely feels like it's early 2000s and shit, though. That's the thing.
Well, yeah, because we would have been teenagers in the 90s, dude.
I mean, that's true, but
So like, yeah, you got this. I feel like that even though they don't say it, this movie takes place in some nondescript time period between 1995 and 2000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I think that's fine too, regardless.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I was a graduate of 2012, and I think if I saw it in high school, it still would have like hit really good.
Oh yeah, it
Time
definitely
period. That's
has
why I
like the basic,
like-
even just like the pretty basic kind of like modern Porky's almost kind
their
of
jokes with girls,
Yeah.
the way they act as buddies in school, and whatever, like dick jokes and things like that. Like that, it hits all that. stuff.
the dick drawings.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all that stuff.
Dude, the fuck.
That I can honestly say never happened to me. I wouldn't do that.
You didn't have that addiction?
No, my
That
name wasn't Runner.
addiction?
So addiction.
Dude, I remember, God, I don't know. I thought the jokes landed still for me, like when he tells Evan like his whole like problem as to why he doesn't like his love interest or whatever. Like he's like, I had this addiction of drawing dicks as a kid, and he went to the principal's office for that shit. But there's so many other like fucking things like in this, and it's like I'm gonna be real. Like fucking Jonah Hill's character he was kind of like I was kind of like that character from back in the day, just more fit.
just more fit.
Yeah, but I'm a lot more athletic. I mean, they show you like him like running in like pee and shit in the beginning of the movie. You know how he's like running laps and shit.
Yeah.
he's like the slowest one.
It's still funny even for Seth Rogen, and it's still funny.
See, but even though Seth Rogen's in it, it's like fucking Bill Hader like carries him, and Bill Hader's like funny.
This
and
was like before Seth Rogen became Seth Rogen. So
that's true, but Bill Hader's like good in like anything he's in. Let's be
he's
real.
funny.
Like fucking Bill Hader's like the best part of it, part 2. And fucking Bill Hader. Did you hear his Sam Raimi impression, Greg?
No, I haven't heard a Sam Raimi impression. No.
No, fucking Bill Hader. He was a production assistant for the first Spider-Man movie, so he was like telling Sam Raimi stories and stuff. And Bill Hader was like he was the production assistant that dropped a foam brick on James Franco. So he told that story, and his whole impression's like, it doesn't really sound like Sam Raimi, but the way Bill Hader was like, he's like, so I want you to drop this foamy foam thing on James Franco or whatever. And then I think, was it Bill Hader when like he was in like Saturday Night Live, like James Franco was there, and then he was asking him like, were you the one that dropped the brick on me? So like fucking, and plus like Bill Hader's like a big like movie buff too.
Yeah, I know. Watch the documentary at the video store. He's in it. He talks about it. He talks about hanging out at the video store and everything.
Nah, but there's just like a fuck ton of like podcasts that he's in and interviews and stuff where he just like talks about movies and all his like love for it and all that. Like that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like Bill Hader's fucking funny in like anything he's in, like Tropic Thunder, it's like all that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like this cast for the most part though.
Yeah, it's all right. You guys hear that?
Emma Stone's pretty good in it too.
Yeah, Emma Stone. We talked about this while he was gone.
Yeah, we
I know
that's
it's fucking. You had to make me go first of all people.
we can't help it that you're that gay.
Yeah, we can't help it.
That's
you know what? Well, happy birthday, Random Brad, to you.
Oh, happy birthday!
Sir. Happy birthday! If it is your birthday, I assume that's what it means. So happy birthday.
But yeah. I have better picks anyway. To be fair,
okay.
So I wanted to like pick something light for now.
Okay. Well, there you go. And I have no idea what Evan Goldberg is up to these days. I really don't.
I think he's still doing some work, because I could be wrong, but didn't he co-write that TMNT movie with Seth?
Oh God.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think so anyway. Like I think he's working with Seth still, but like I don't know. This is like the best thing that they've probably done, like writing wise though.
Yeah, it's one of their better movies together.
Yeah, like you can sort of tell that this was like a slice of life fucking, like they experienced this type of shit in their high school days and all that type of stuff, and fuck, it works. It's really good.
Yeah. All right. Well, you got
And
any-
McLovin.
yeah, of
Can't
course,
forget about him.
McLovin. I used to tease my nephew all the time. He used to look like McLovin all the time. We almost bought him a
that's funny.
McLovin T-shirt, and he wouldn't take it because it pissed him off so bad.
Oh man, did you give him a fake ID for his like
I
birthday?
did make him a fake McLovin ID. For him, 'cause he
Oh,
looks
that's
just like
great.
McLovin. He did. Well, not just like him, but we thought he did.
McLovin.
But he hated
What kind of
it.
name? What kind of name is McLovin? He's like,
He
is
hated
either
it.
between that or Muhammad? Why would it be that or Muhammad? Because Muhammad's the most commonly used name on earth. Read a book for one.
You're not right, man. But
Man.
yeah, you got anything else? Because
It's a fucking classic. The only reason why I ever like heard about the movie was like I think I saw it like I'd heard of it, but I think I watched it in its full like junior year of high school. But there were so many fucking like McLovin memes on social media that was sort of my introduction, and then I was like, yeah, no, this movie fucking rocks. But like one of my college buddies like months ago like started talking about it, and he's like, man, like that was like one of my favorite fucking movies back in the day. I think I saw it like 10 times back in the day or something. It's like, Jesus, that's more than I saw it. But and then I was just looking through my shelf this morning, and I was like, fuck, I'm in the mood to watch Superbad. I haven't seen it in a while. So it was a pretty good revisit.
well, some of my movies may go along the lines of that, but they don't take place in the 2000s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But we're going to talk about Anchorman. So go, because Tom brought up Anchorman while he was gone. So let's go to you, Tom, for Anchorman. What are your thoughts on the 4K of that and everything? If you're ready.
Am I here?
Yeah. You're here.
Okay, so yeah, the movie, as far as the theatrical cut, yeah, you're only missing what 4 minutes or whatever of the unrated version. So that's not as big of a deal, but it is kind of annoying as piss. And I was talking to some douchebag on the internet about it yesterday, about other stuff, because like some other movie, I can't even remember what movie it was. Same kind of difference. Maybe it was this movie. I can't remember though. Because I think, yeah, it might have been Bill's review of it, Bill Hunt's. And somebody had said something about it, and then I said, yeah, you know, even if they just convert those scenes to 4K, you know, I don't think people would have as much of a problem, just as long as we have that alternate version to watch. And this idiot went on this diatribe about, you know, you don't have it, you know, about how it's not the same, you know, quality and all this other stuff, and to upconvert the film, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not saying upconvert the whole film. I'm saying take the 4K version that you scanned and just intercut the unrated bits, even if you got to upconvert them. Exactly. And he's like, well, that'd be too distracting and it'd ruin the immersion. And I'm like, you're one of the type of fuckers that are ruining movies for us, period. Yeah. That's part of the problem we have right now is this AI thing or whatever the hell they're doing to even out the grain in films. And it's like, let me tell you something, guy. Not every scene and every shot in every movie is going to come from a negative. Yep. They're just not. It's so true. If they have an optical, if they have a title, if they transfer like a crossfade or anything like that, they're not from the negative, buddy. Yep. not every shot. So you're always going to have some variance. And not only that, film is not like digital, right? There's going to be variances, and film has roll off and all kinds of other differences that digital film doesn't have. And to capture it correctly in a scan and present it correctly in a scan, I mean, you don't have to manipulate it all that much. I don't know why they insist on doing it. Like Arrow and Vinegar Syndrome, those guys have kind of figured out the formula. They have. Sony, you know, Paramount is so hit and miss, mostly miss anymore. And this is probably one of the better ones because it's a newer film. It you can tell it is a newer scan compared to the old scan because this was shot on film. For the most part, the 4K upgrade, I think it's actually kind of worth it, even though it's a comedy. And I know some people will be like, well, I don't know if I really want to upgrade for a comedy. And that's a fair point.
It's a good comedy, though.
But with the type of colorful photography, the costumes, the sets,
that's what I was about to say. Yeah,
it pops with the 4K. It definitely does. It really does kind of bring out that 70s kind of warmth in the feeling of the film. It's a later film, so it looks good. I mean, you're not going to sit there and it's not overly grainy, and I don't think they had to manipulate it too much. I didn't notice anything that looked like it had been manipulated over, too bad anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's been some noise reduction and whatnot here and there done to it, but the standard. But no, like overall, I would say it's a decent in the price. See, this is the ones where I don't mind it so much with Paramount, where I will allow them a little bit of leeway considering it's only a $20 4K Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. They do have good pricings. I will give them Paramount that. And yeah, I was going to say, I haven't seen 4K, but I was thinking with this movie, like the bright blues and the reds, and it's in like California, and it's bright and sunny, and should really pop on 4K. I was thinking, that should really, really, really pop. And plus, he's got that big scene. How's that scene look like when he's with her on the date, and he has that dream like they're riding unicorns or something?
Not too bad. I thought that was one scene I was kind of worried about.
Yeah,
so I'm like, clearly that's going to be a CGI, kind of combo thing. But no, actually it looked pretty good. I don't know if they just scanned the whatever that they put out at that time, probably. Because I don't think this is like because it looks so much better than the Blu-ray that it can't be like a 2K interpositive they upconverted or something like that. And I think I looked it up and it was shot on film. Now I don't know about the second one though. So we can get into that one now. Because the second one came out, a few years later. And I actually don't dislike the second one that much. I know some people are not a big fan of the second one, but you also get 3 different versions of the movie here. You have the theatrical cut, the unrated cut, and then the supersized version, which is a weird cut. It's like the version we got instead of getting another movie out of the outtakes.
Uh-huh.
Because what they do is they take a bunch of outtakes and alternate scenes and cut them into the movie. And it's just kind of weird, and some of the jokes don't land as well. And it's just, I think I tried watching it once and I quit watching it. So I usually just watch the unrated version, because this one is actually like a half hour longer than the other one. But what I like about the sequel is it really does a good job of kind of encapsulating, like the first movie. We didn't even talk about the story. Like the first movie is a, kind of a loose satire on what it was like when women started becoming anchor people, right? And the resistance from the men in the television industry and stuff like that.
Yep.
The sequel, on the other hand, is about the rise of the 24-hour news cycle, which of course CNN actually, but they have a stand-in here. But you basically got like this guy who's like this mix between Ted Turner and Rupert Murdoch is the head of this news organization, basically, that Ron Burgundy's brought into, and he of course gets stuck in the 2:00 in the morning slot. But what happens is of course he gets pissed one night, and he's bored with whatever's going on, and there's like a chase going on in LA, and he's like, plug me in the chase live.
He just starts talking, making it up as he goes.
And he's just going, and they like start speculating.
In a way, that's kind of like an early YouTuber kind of mentality of.
And then it turns out it's just an old guy who went down the road. It doesn't matter. Like it was got the biggest ratings of the whole day or whatever on the channel, so it becomes a huge success, which feeds into this mentality of needing the constant feed of shit news to fill up.
Fill the algorithm, even though the real stuff's boring.
So yeah, I mean, it almost is a better sequel than it has the right to be in a way, considering how much they kind of give what's her face the Shaft in it. Christina Applegate.
Yeah,
because she's in it, but she's really kind of shoved out of it until near the end.
Right. Yeah, she.
It kind of leads up to that whole thing where I'm blind.
He's blind. He's drinking ketchup. Why didn't you tell me I was drinking ketchup?
I drank out the bottom before I figured it out.
I'm
you
blind.
would think after the first drink that you would taste that
I'm blind.
I don't know about you, but I'm blind.
I still want to know what they did to get what's his name, Harrison Ford, to become a werewolf in that movie.
Which makes no fucking sense, and he disappears right after that. Like, there ain't no werewolf in the fight.
He's gone right after.
He's gone after that. What the fuck? That's one of the only scenes where it's like, okay, you're just kind of redoing the first one, but it works because you get so many of these new stars in there, like Jim Carrey and Will Smith and all that kind of stuff.
Was
So
Denzel Washington in this one?
what?
What?
Maybe not.
So.
I was thinking he was somebody else. Maybe I was thinking maybe it's
Yeah.
Will Smith.
It's Will Smith. He having
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, he had like a bunch of them in that one. Like just like it's triple.
Canadian news, eh?
Yeah, Canadian.
And then you got God, who else was it? But anyway, yeah. I mean, it's a fun sequel. I don't think it should have been. Like just. It's one of those movies where you're just like, how is it this sequel is as good as it is?
Doesn't he raise a shark in that one?
Yes.
They live in a lighthouse, so
He's like get reunited, and his doggy has to save him.
I haven't even seen the second one. I've only seen the first.
Really, the second one's
It's
pretty
worth
good,
it.
actually.
Yeah,
I don't know. I need to rewatch the first one because I watched it once and I didn't like love it for some reason.
Oh, I love the first one.
Oh, I went to theaters.
I don't believe you.
Listen, would
Spanish.
would you? I don't know. Like I laughed at like.
What are you saying?
The only thing I laughed at was the Danny Trejo bit. In the
Cheeks
first
can
one.
do stuff now.
Yeah, that's the best part of the fucking movie.
And fucking Jack Black when he punts the dog, it's like, no.
Oh yeah.
I don't even remember that.
And he calls it, he talks to the bear.
Milk was a bad choice.
Yeah, milk was a bad choice. Scotch. I like scotch.
It wasn't fun.
He will read anything you put on the prompter.
Fuck you, San Diego.
I'm Ron Burgundy, and go fuck yourself, San
Yeah.
Diego. Oh, that was a good show. I thought we did a great job. Thank you.
They're all
What
just
the
there.
fuck did you do, Ron?
It was fun. It's fun. I do remember he said that it was either he was going to make Step Brothers Part 2 or an Anchorman Part 2, and Anchorman Part 2 won out.
Oh, I wish it would have been
That's where
Step
they make
Brothers.
the
in a
I
way,
would
but-
have taken Step Brothers.
But in
That's
a
what-
way, like I said, like it didn't need a sequel, but the fact that they were smart enough to go with the CNN route made it work for me.
Yeah.
Like, and it retains the goofiness of the first film. You've got all the main characters. I mean, everybody comes back. So, I mean, clearly everybody had a good time making the first one, obviously,
Yeah.
They have that other showdown with everyone else again. One of them has like psychic powers, doesn't he? He has like telekinesis or something.
Yeah. Stop reading my mind. Craig Kinnear.
Yeah.
Yeah, his kid's pretty good too.
Anchorman was one of those ones that I thought I wasn't going to like and ended up really enjoying.
Yeah.
Why do you think I can read your mind? Because you're a psychologist. That's what you do. Get out of my mind!
Don't in the second one they have start off with a funeral for what's his name? What is his name? Steve Carell's character, and he shows up at the funeral.
God damn it! What the fuck ever his name is, I forget.
Yeah, I can't. I'm thinking. I keep wanting to say Lamp because he says I love Lamp, but I know
I
it's
love
something-
Lamp. That's what this one is in
remember.
the second one. Yeah, he's like, I love Lamp.
Yeah.
I love chair. Are you just naming things in the room?
I thought that was the first one.
No, I think it's the second one.
No, I think it's I
Really?
love Lamp is his first one.
Maybe it is.
But
It feels
I'm
like
trying to
something.
remember.
that'd
No,
be
the
in
second
first-
one's where he falls in love with what's her face. That's right. You're right.
yeah.
Yeah, they give him the love story, which is kind of funny. One of the few times I think what's her face was funny.
Is it Melissa McCarthy?
No, it's
No,
not Melissa McCarthy. It's the other one.
Leslie, no.
The
not
one
her.
from Ghostbusters. God damn it.
Well, there's
the other
one.
one.
Kristen Wiig.
The other
Or-
one from
Kristen
Ghostbusters. Yeah, Kristen
Kristen
Wiig.
Wiig.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Right.
yeah, because she basically plays the female version of him.
Yeah, they're both so stupid.
Oh, right.
Man, I haven't seen part 2 in a while. I now kind of want to watch
Yeah,
them both
it's been a
again.
When she mails the fucking messages.
For-
How else are
I-
you supposed to give?
I
get
didn't
them-
think anyone would convince me to watch part 2, but you're
It's
making me
what-
convinced.
the scene, like Tom mentioned earlier, the scene alone when he gets the car chase and just starts making shit up. It's the movie. That's the movie, and it
Yeah.
like feels like that's really what they did to create a 24-hour.
It pretty much was.
I need to give the first one a better shot again.
I mean, maybe I don't know. It might be one of those things where the unrated cut drags it out just a little too much. I mean, even though it's only 4 minutes, but the theatrical cut it clips by real quick.
I
And then the
I
second
own
one is 2.5 hours with the extended
Yeah, the
cut.
second one's
Yeah.
a long one.
I own the Blu-ray and it comes with both cuts, but I don't remember which one I watched.
And that Ron Burgundy, Wake Up Ron Burgundy, is really tough to watch. It is, because all it is just literally outtakes and alternate takes from the first film, and they try to frame it like it's a sequel, and it just doesn't work. It's just hard to watch as a movie. Like, I mean,
remember that, yeah.
it has its moments, but I quit watching it after like the first 20 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it was today or the other day. But
now you got me wanting to watch both of them because I haven't seen them in a long time.
Sex Panther.
Yes, 60% of the time, it works every time.
Oh, man, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's pungent. Ooh, burns the nostrils. I'm not gonna lie, that smells like straight up gasoline. Oh my god, what is that smell? They're hosing him down.
Yeah. It is one of the better Paul Rudd performances because he's like, it's so different than like what some of the other stuff he does, but it's pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, you're right. It is kind of a, I never really even thought of that, how different of a role that is for him compared to the other guys.
Yeah, he's kind of like the very different than the rest of them.
Steve Carell's done that kind of a character before.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost the same as his from the Jim Carrey where he's God.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost the same character, except now he's dumb.
A mean version of him, yeah, basically.
Yeah. All right, well,
all right, let's move on. Yeah, so I can recommend the 4K. It's worth it, especially for the price, and considering it'll probably be down to you'll probably be able to catch it on sale. Hell, wouldn't be surprised if it goes on sale during the Prime days here.
I was gonna say I was wondering if it's right now. It ends tonight.
Yeah, I think it's only. I don't know. I'd have to look. I think it's still $20.
I know they got a lot of Warner Archives on sale. But yeah, okay. Let's go to Rook because let's see what you got for your first pick of the night.
Are you sure it's me? Because you tagged Taylor Rook or something.
Yeah, I know.
It was not me. And so I was like, why am I not tagged?
You're a famous sellout, motherfucker.
There you go.
Famous.
Okay.
I don't think he's even noticed.
I don't know. So I had to correct that. That's okay. I picked the Sandlot.
Oh, good one.
Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me.
Well, I know I was about to say, I watched the thing that you guys say to me all the time. So, yeah, it's kill me, Smalls. All the time. I figured FanZcene mentioned some summer movies, and I was like, okay, this is one it's a summer movie. Why not?
That has a 4K scan. It has since Fox. It's never been released. It's only on digital.
Oh, of course.
Disney's probably not going to give us to it, but that you would think that would have got one because that's one of the most popular.
I think it's 4K
titles.
on Disney Plus, but yeah.
Yeah.
Probably.
You think Sony would do something to release it?
Maybe.
They don't own it. They ain't got no. Oh yeah, well they
own distribution of it.
I don't think they make the choice on that though. I still think because from our report on that, our understanding was that basically Disney still decides what gets released and they handle the actual production of the disc itself or the content itself. It's just Sony's going to be handling the production of the disc itself, basically. Yeah. But anyway, Sandlot, good film.
Yep, yeah. I have just the basic DVD of it, so nothing fancy to talk about with it. But for the movie itself, this was one I saw many times when I was younger. One of those ones that'd be on TV quite often, and still just watching it now. It's been years since I watched it. Just even though I've seen it before, I just loved seeing it again. It's one of those perfect nostalgia hitters, essentially, and one you could watch at pretty much any age, I feel, and still enjoy it no matter what. I mean, it's the new kid that comes to town at the very end of the school year. Not much time to make friends in school. Summer's about to begin. He's sort of a nerd, and dad always working and stuff. It's the classic cliche sort of thing where dad's too busy to play catch with his son. But I like how they actually kind of showed it, where he does, and then he's like, all right, I actually want to end this, so I'm just gonna bop him in the face and then continue my work. It's pretty funny for the father to do a little bit, but no, I like how the kid, even though he's a nerd who doesn't fit in with them, he still goes out to the Sandlot and tries to. right? Like
I mean, it's a group of
in his
misfits coming
dorky
together.
hat, in his dorky clothes, attempts to socialize, sort of, from the bushes. He makes somewhat of an attempt, and then with the ball, tries to throw it, can't throw, can't catch, has a shitty glove. It's not even like a real glove. How do you have a plastic mitt? Like, how do you even have that? Like,
we used to have those when we were kids.
Yeah, they were.
Really?
Yeah, I remember having one of them myself
Never-
when I was younger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You'd usually not. Well, by the time we were kids, I don't know if this was the same back then in the '60s or whatever when this movie takes place or whatever. But like when we were kids, those were like the kind of gloves you'd usually get with like a wiffle ball set.
Oh, okay, I guess I can see that.
So they were just like cheap ass padded plastic gloves, basically. Yeah, which would just fall apart after a bit.
That makes sense, right? Which, by the way, what year is this supposed to be around? Because they mentioned
I think it's like 62, 60. It's because it's before the Beatles. I know
Yeah.
that. It's been like 10, 15 years since I've seen the movie.
Okay,
Yeah,
It's not the
yeah.
50s, but it's definitely the 60s.
because the 1920s was when Ruth and all them. The
Yeah,
teen
well, that was 1920s.
popular, and
yeah,
that was a
yeah,
long
30s
time
or whatever.
ago.
Right.
Like Ruth is dead, and
I'm pretty sure this is like 1961, 62, somewhere in there. Let me look it
Okay.
up.
Yeah, I wasn't
Wait, yeah.
sure, but mostly because they don't spend that much time inside. Like they weren't watching TV. They're outside most of the time.
Yeah.
Or they're
Damn,
out
I'm
doing
good.
stuff.
1962.
66.
I could just-
even have erector sets.
See, there's just a way you can tell because like the 1950s really didn't start till like 1954 ish.
Mhm.
And then from 1954 to 1964 was like the 50s, what we think of the 50s. You know what I mean? Because as soon as the Beatles happened, that's when the 60s kind of started, right? Like, I mean, there was
Yeah.
other things going on at the same
I
time.
gotcha.
JFK, Martin
Yeah.
Luther King, all that
There-
kind of stuff came into play, the hippie
Yeah.
movement. But it was like there's that demarcation. You have the beginning of rock and roll, families, you know, the baby boomers, you know, the homes boom in America. You know, everybody owns a house with picket fence and 2 kids and all that kind of shit. That
Mhm.
1950s Leave It to Beaver kind of idea
Yeah.
lasted from like 1954-ish to 1964. And then everything
Like even
went down.
Mayberry, Andy Griffith was going on in the '60s still. That still feels like
Because then
it's
the
very
next year is
50s.
also in Vietnam. We went to Vietnam. That's the other main
Yeah.
thing.
I gotcha. I think they hint throughout the movie what time period it's in, but I'm just not well versed enough with that. Because like when you
That's
talk about when
probably
they're
why I
growing up,
figured it out. Yeah, like it
yeah,
just
they're
there's
like, oh,
enough
they
stuff
got
there.
they got really into bungee jumping, and you could
Because I think
why.
they even mentioned who the president
think.
was at one point or something like that. Because I
think
know,
they
like,
do.
yeah, because it wasn't JFK yet. So yeah.
Yeah. But no, so it just
Or what? Or
a
wait, when
great-
did he get? Or wait, maybe it was. That's why I knew. Yeah, no, he was already because he started in '61. Yep.
yeah, I mean, just a great setting for the story, and then I like how so our main character is Smalls, Scotty Smalls, essentially, but it's in a way, you know, Rodriguez with it. They start the movie essentially with him in the middle of a little pickle, and that's what happens throughout this, and that's what he when they say to pickle the beast. I didn't really when I was younger, I didn't really connect the two. I mean, I understood that they said that, but I didn't really get, you know, his speed and his ability to, you know, do quick moves and stuff was like a rare thing with everybody. So he's like the best at that. And when they show that at the end too, in the majors, I like how when they show everyone else growing up. I'm just kind of skipping around a bit because I had a thought while I was watching this. So the Christmas Story, oddly enough, it's like one of those other movies that has the kid in the movie that's grown up narrating the story, right? I feel like the
Mhm.
Sandlot's a better version of that, where it's like, you know, he's grown up.
I
he's
agree.
He's talking about when he was a kid, and I feel like
yeah, I
it's,
wouldn't.
I was gonna say this is more like Stand By Me.
Yeah, this is a little like
well, no, so do you understand what I'm comparing specifically?
Yeah, but I mean, if I was gonna compare it to anything, I'd compare it more to Stand By Me, just because
Well, I mean, as a whole, yes, I would compare Sandlot.
that's more of a
to
coming
me,
to
but I'm
age
saying-
where
I'm saying as
where
the kid
Christmas
that's grown
Story
up
is actually
talking
more of like
about.
a slice of. It's more than just about coming of age, right? It's about the where it takes place and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I guess so. I mean, I just feel like it. I feel like this is like a better story in that personally with it. But regardless, I don't know if does anybody hate this movie? I'm trying to think of what would be something that people don't like about
I love this movie. I love
I
this
haven't
movie
heard
as a
most
kid.
people.
I was watching it, kind of going, what can I say like sucks about it? And I couldn't find anything. I'm like, this is great.
It's a pretty
No,
solid
it's
movie.
a
all of it.
it's a
No,
it's a
there's-
classic, dude.
Yeah, there's not much you can really.
Yeah, I haven't heard many people ever say it was bad. Really,
Even when Squints goes to the pool and he's like trying to make his move on the lifeguard and stuff, but, you look pretty crappy, man. You just like a little smile. He's gonna try to get some makeout time real quick. Just like, I don't know, it's funny. I don't know, it's classic. It's a good one. The busted skin, is that a thing that actually happens with baseballs? With the skin getting busted off?
yeah. For the most part, I mean, I think it happens every once in a while.
Okay, just never heard it as a thing before.
No.
I've only heard about it only in the Sandlot, so I didn't know if busting the skin was a common thing or not.
Barth, I think Dennis Leary's character is great in the movie. He's the dad. I think he's great. I mean, it really helps him because, like, if you know Dennis Leary, he's a comedian, and most of his jokes, like one of his most famous things he ever did is that it's his song called "I'm an Asshole." Great song, by the way. And this is what's more Dennis Leary acting, because a lot of times he does his whole like shtick in his movie. So he's this is a pretty good character for Dennis Leary. I liked him as the dad. So, because honestly, by the time I saw this movie and I was a kid, I was like, "Hey, that's the guy that sings 'I'm an Asshole," because I knew that from MTV. And I was a kid around the time this came out. So yeah, I think he's pretty good in this movie.
Mm-hmm. I like how the more professional team of players that come and approach them, and you play ball like a girl. Usually in movies, especially with the 90s sort of feel of things, usually like the ragtag group is the ones that are the underdogs and have to, try. They're usually not doing as well against the more professional or uniformed team. But in this one, nope, they just smoke them and then just move on. I kind of like that. Is like, all they do is play baseball, and so it's like not even unbelievable. All they do is just play.
That's all they do.
So that was neat.
I haven't seen it in a few years, so I don't remember everything, but I remember most of it.
Yeah,
Somebody
kind of like
something?
I don't know. His mic.
Runner's eating his mic.
His phone mic is so much
No,
better that we
I'm-
can hear
I'm
every
drinking.
drink and every gulp that he
You
does.
drinking your mic?
You can hear everything.
I was gonna say, just hear it.
He's thirsty.
It's
boy.
ice. It's making jingle bells and shit.
Yeah.
It's my cran vodka. Sorry.
Yeah, I like where Smalls at one point, like, where he's like, a grown-up girl knows baseball, like a grown-up female woman knows about baseball more than I do. Like, jeez, man, I like that kind of thing. And then,
I'm trying to remember, like, now that I think about it, you have you ever seen like those shirts in like the clothing store where like it has the whole quote like, "Oh, you're killing me, Smalls," and it has like a shot of that exact scene. I forget what that character's name, the chubby kid. It's like him like taking
they
off
just call him
his...
Ham in the movie.
Yeah, Ham, yeah. But like I'm trying to remember if my dad if me and like the rest of the family like gave him that as like a Father's Day gift or birthday gift or something, because I feel like my dad owns that shirt. Because that's a very common shirt that I see in like stores and stuff.
It's a very common slogan on this show, even.
Yeah.
In
I
reference
mean,
to
in regards to your taste, yes.
That's fine.
But
you're killing me, Smalls.
But your Sandlot take is it's good. We approve of it.
That's good. Last thing that I want to say about it, though, before we can move on to the next one, is I like how, in a way, Benny has the dream with Babe Ruth at the end, and the whole time, the whole thing about the Beast and about all these myths and legends, is like perpetuated throughout the film, especially with the Beast itself and everything, the story, and his dream that isn't real kind of sets him in reality, in a way. Like he's like, just go over and get it, and because it's like I just find that kind of interesting that his dream helps ground him to just go and do something, just go and do it, just go and do it, and he does,
man.
It's I like that. I like how the exaggeration of the beast is this huge giant dog, this beast killing machine, and it's just a puppy essentially. It's a still big dog, still a big dog, but it's ultimately just a dog. And then when it gets the fence slammed on it, even though they're all scared shitless of it, it's a vulnerable dog, and then they help it. And it's just a freaking pup. And then and that was nice. Have you guys seen the sequels to this? There's like 2 or 3 sequels.
No,
Never
they're
watched
straight
them.
to video sequels. I haven't watched any of them.
Yeah,
None of the people.
I always tried to avoid those types of sequels.
Yeah, those are some of the most needless ones I've ever seen. Especially the second one. They just make it where I don't know if it's the same Sandlot. I think it is, but they have like a giant tower of like washing machines as well, and there's a different dog. It's a descendant of Hercules or something, but it's a bigger dog. And there's even a flashback with one of the main kids who had a red cape and got scared when he was younger by it, and now he's got to face it again or something. And then there's like a whole girls team that joins them or something, and I don't know. It's like one of those ones where they're trying to invoke the same types of moments and scenes, and it's just like, we can't just watch the other movie. We don't need to have more of this.
It's definitely a movie that didn't need a sequel.
Yeah, it almost comes off worse when you do it twice. That's what's kind of funny. Like a lot of people don't get it. Well, this movie did this, but doesn't mean they need that same like franchise needs to do that thing again. Like repetition kind of makes it worse and less special sometimes.
The original was a moneymaker on video, and so why not make another one that's straight to DVD or VHS back in the day and try to capitalize off that market? So that's what they would do.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's all I got on that one.
All right. Well, good to me continuing the summer movie because most of these are summer movies. Now, don't get mad, Tom and Double Fat. I seen you out there. This is a DVD. However, this does have a Blu-ray. I just haven't picked it up. I might pick it up in the the Prime Day sale because it's a Warner Archive title that's actually on sale. But I just popped in the DVD of it because I felt like watching it. And that's One Crazy Summer with John Cusack and Dick Moore. So, yeah.
John Cusack.
One of the few movies I actually like of John Cusack because I'm never been a huge fan of his.
Fucking jerk.
Yeah,
I used to like him a lot. He's just a jerk now.
I don't know. I liked him in some of the things I've seen him in, like Con Air and High Fidelity and shit.
He blocked me.
He blocked it. But no, I know that's on Blu-ray, and I'm planning on picking it up. I just had to.
Didn't he die of TDS?
Yeah, you would think. I think he might have. He gone now.
I haven't seen him in nothing in years, so.
Yeah, no, literally, no one has.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a long time, so I don't know what happened to him. But no, this is a good, fun movie. One Crazy Summer. Basically, it's another high school sort of coming of age type of movie. John Cusack and his friend, played by Bill Murray's brother. What's his name? What is it? Bill Murray's brother? I can't remember the name of him.
I'm trying to remember which one this is. It's not. Was it like Kyle or something like that?
No, I can't remember it. It's
the younger one. I know that.
I don't know if I've seen Bill Murray's brother.
No, not Brian Doyle Murray. That's his oldest brother. Oh my God, I can't remember. I want to say Joel Murray. Maybe that's what it is. Joel Murray. I think
that's it. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's his. He plays his best friend. And they just graduated high school, and so they go to the island for the summer to hang out with bunnies. Funniest little bunnies, because John Cusack is an artist named Hoops. He gets the name Hoops because apparently everybody in his family can play basketball but him. He sucks at basketball really bad, so they call him Hoops. And he didn't get a basketball scholarship, but he wants to be an artist. And they meet Demi Moore on the way there, and while they get to this island, it's populated by weird people. Bobcat Goldthwait is there with his twin brother. They're fraternal twins. Then you got Curtis Armstrong, Booger from Revenge of the Nerds, is Ak, who is his dad is actually played by the guy that you mentioned last week, Tom, that you thought was in that movie. He was the count guy. Oh my god, from SCTV. I'm already forgetting names.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. He played.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, and I'm trying to remember his name now.
But his dad wants him to be a military man, go to the Marines, and he doesn't. He's very sensitive. He doesn't want to be, so it kicks him out of the house because he decides he's not going to go. So it's like this all weird like thing, and like to save Demi Moore's grandfather's house, so it's where these old people live. They have to raise like $3,000, so they decide to do this boat race against a rich, jerky, blonde-haired kid, and like every '80s movie that they go against, and so. Hilarity ensues. It's a pretty funny movie. It's got a great Godzilla scene in it. I love the Godzilla scene with what's his name, Bobcat Goldthwait. Yeah, in the Godzilla suit, and he just like rampages the model where they're trying to build everything. And the Japanese guy that's there at the party's like, "Oh, this is very good. You guys know how to party." He doesn't shut up. That's a really great scene. It's really fun. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it. So I do recommend it. I was not aware that they made One Crazy Fall. I thought they that was going to be made, but it never was. Did they make One Crazy Fall?
Not that I know of.
Yeah.
I think he's just joking.
I know they actually were going to make a One Crazy Fall, a sequel, with Joel Murray, Curtis Armstrong, and Bobcat Goldthwait. In 2016, I knew they were going to make it, but I don't think they ever made it. I was going to say, I don't think they ever made it. But yeah, it's a fun summer movie. If you're looking for a fun summer movie where John Cusack was actually kind of likable before he is now, I do recommend One Crazy Summer. And yes, I know, like I said, I know it's on Blu-ray. I was planning on getting it. I just had that DVD for years, and I said I had to pop in the DVD. It doesn't look bad for the DVD. Matter of fact, it might even have better special features than the Warner Archive one, because a lot of times the Warner Archive one doesn't keep the special features, so I don't know. Yeah.
I think it's just a commentary and a trailer. I think they're exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, there's not really much on here. So, yeah, the Blu-ray will be an upgrade. What, Runner?
No, I was gonna say, Greg, if it makes you feel any better, I fucking bought the Seven Samurai DVD from Criterion, and I played that and watched that version, but like fucking, and it's the old DVD, not the new one. But I'm gonna wait till like the 4K comes out and shit. So don't feel bad. I sometimes watch some movies that are DVDs if I could pick them up for.
I still watch DVDs, but this is old DVD. I've had this for years, man. It's all worn down.
All the Blu-rays on the Prime Day deal.
Yeah. Bless you.
Oh, sorry.
Bless you again.
So yeah. I'm sitting there thinking, looking for his name, and I was about to say it's on the back case, but then it's not on the back case. Joel Murray's name is not on the back of the case at all. That's kind of weird because he's like one of the secondary stars of the movie. But yeah, I do recommend the movie. If you've never seen it, it's a fun movie. It's a really fun movie. So there's my first pick of the night. Who wants to go next? We'll go back to Runner, see if he can.
Oh, is it my turn again?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very quick talk.
Okay, so fucking the sequel reboot, whatever the fuck it even is coming out tomorrow in theaters. I have the first one, both Blu-ray and 4K. Twister.
We got cows.
It goes green.
No, we don't have cows. We have two cows right here, motherfuckers.
Sisters.
There's one cow right there.
You're gonna have to keep that Blu-ray. Do you know why?
I bought it the same day as the 4K.
And you did that why? Yeah, because it has a document. There's like a documentary and I think one or two other things that are not on the new one for some reason they didn't carry over, especially because it's a History Channel documentary or something.
I think it's I'm trying to remember which one it is. I think it's the Chasing the Storm one.
That might be one too, but there's a History Channel documentary.
That's not the one.
Yeah.
It's is it HBO First Look? No, that's also on there.
No, it's the one that they wouldn't, because they didn't obviously want to pay extra for it, and I think it's like a 45-minute special or half-hour special or whatever.
Oh, it's the History Channel one.
Yeah, that's what I just said like three times.
Yeah. No, I wasn't too sure. Okay, so it's fucking weird. They don't tell you that in the slipcover, the Walmart exclusive one, because I bought it
Yeah.
for like $7.
Really, Road makes a point. That's a weird cover. It makes it look like a comedy. That
Correct.
does.
Correct. It does, but it tells
It's
you
like
more of the
Kind of
subject
is.
matters.
If you watch it a certain way, it kind of is, honestly.
No, it is not wrong. I mean, literally,
Even the
there's a
dad
flying
getting
cow.
fallen off the door. It's like, just close the door.
And the Blu-ray also has the original color timing on it too. So
yeah.
That's true.
I was gonna say, how green is it? Because I heard
it's bad
green.
from what I heard. I haven't got to watch it yet. I have it.
When it's weird. It's like it's not like that for the entire time. It's like for the most part, I think it looked fine, but when it does, like randomly, it's like a green like color grading. All of a sudden, it's like what?
Yeah.
But then like it's not there like a lot, but it is like kind of distracting when it is there. That's the best thing I can say.
VHS
about
of
it. Oh wow.
It's kind of my thought, but
Wow.
Taylor Rooks has still got the VHS.
Yeah, you made Greg proud there, buddy. fucking you're gonna have to get in some competition with Greg. Build your VHS collection.
and I don't have a collection. I have a straggler remainder amount of them somewhere around the house.
My
Existed.
family and I used to have that, but we gave that all away.
I
Yeah.
still have. I still have the VHS too, but it's not the one I
maybe,
grew up on.
maybe Greg has all the VHSs that I used to have. At least my
Doubtful.
family does.
Not unless it made it all the way from Chicago down here.
No, that's very true. Unless it's shipped from one place or another. But considering the shit that like I owned on VHS at the time, it was like, what is it? I remember watching Toy Story a lot on VHS at the time. I remember watching, I think it was Ice Age on VHS. I had that as well. So it was just a bunch of like animated shit from my childhood, literally.
Are you gonna see Twisters tomorrow?
There's a fuck ton of movies I still need to watch, like Twisters. I'm not like.
Is anybody gonna see Twisters? I'm not.
I'll watch it at some point, just because I heard.
I could have saw it last Wednesday, but I decided not to. I decided
I was
to
gonna
do
say,
show
there was
instead.
there was like an early screening or whatever, but like it's one I'd watch eventually, but it's more of like a $5 Tuesday fucking
Like
watch.
I don't want to spend money on it. It feels like it almost, in a way, it almost sounds like a Madame Web. She's like, why do you exist? Like you're around because why?
I don't know.
Well,
It seems very comedic in its premise. Just
I
like,
don't know.
whoa.
That seems a little bit too insulting.
I don't know.
Madam Web.
It's like you could be some fun with so bad it's good. Like even like the fire tornado. I was like, yeah, I would watch it just to see that stupidity. So I would say it's probably got some good watchability to it.
Yeah, and I think I heard it's like not that bad. Like it's like a fun like disaster movie type thing, and I'm like, you know what? If that's all it is, like I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, like the director won some points coming out and saying,
I
because
saw that.
they asked him why didn't you address climate change in this movie, and he said because movies shouldn't have messaging. So
Thank
right there,
you.
he wins points for me right there because I'm going to wait till the Blu-ray, but
yeah,
still.
Lee Isaac Chung, I believe is his name. Yeah, no, that's fucking very based thing to say, right there. That's very good.
Mikey says, I live in Oklahoma on the Kansas border. We have to watch it or they'll kick us out.
By the way, speaking
Tornado
of
Alley.
By the way, speaking of tornadoes and shit, we like kind of had one recently over here in Chicago. I don't know if you heard about that.
No, I'm not.
Oh, really? It was pretty fucking bad.
Chicago got wiped out.
Do you have cows?
No, we did not have cows, surprisingly, but like we had to like make sure we were all inside and stuff, and we got like heavy rains and all that stuff. It was weird. So like fucking no. So this was Monday night. It was Monday night when like there was like a there was like a storm, like in the Chicago area, and we had to make sure we were like in the house and stuff, and fucking we got like. You know, you get those like warnings in your smartphone saying like, "Hey, fucking take cover and shit." storm coming and all
Yeah.
that stuff.
We
I
have
got
the
one
movie
of those.
Twisters to thank for that because they've
And I'm just kind of like, yeah, I thought about that. I'm like, literally, like, fucking, there's a storm in Chicago of all places, where I'm living near, and it's like, is this is marketing for Twisters? Like, what the fuck?
They're setting up drive-in theaters where they'll send little tornadoes through the parking lot to
Yeah, and they'll play The
give
Shining.
you the experience.
They'll play
pretty
Stanley
good.
Kubrick's The Shining like they did in the first.
Yeah, Hollywood is using their financial reach to control the weather to spread tornadoes across the country.
God,
so you go watch Twisters.
The authentic Twisters experience.
Imagine Warner Brothers and Universal investing that amount of money just to make some fucking tornadoes.
You know what we got to do?
You could have at least,
yes.
You could have at least it actually would have been funny if if somebody made like a prop dummy of a cow just flying around.
Yeah. Just have somebody waiting to throw it at cars.
Oh my god, dude, that'd be some insane shit. And then in the cow, it's like there's like a message like promoting the movie. It's like Twisters coming this weekend. Like, that would be some fucking marketing, dude.
Just go to Twisters homepage, #move.
No, but I do love the original Twister movie. I think it's a fun movie. I like it. I think it's pretty solid. I will watch Twisters, but when it comes
Jan de Bont directed the first one.
Yeah.
He directed Speed. And he was the cinematographer for Die Hard, right?
I think maybe, I'm not sure.
I don't remember. Because he was a cinematographer, and then he started directing and shit. But yeah, like Twisters is something I probably would watch, but I'm not in a hurry to see it. There's some other stuff that's out now that I'd much rather watch at the moment. Like Long Legs, I might check that out.
I've heard very mixed things on that. Plus, I'm not a fan of elevated horror.
I don't know if it's elevated horror though.
I've heard a lot of people say it's elevated horror.
I have not heard anyone say that.
Heard a lot of people say that.
you're the first first person to say that.
Then you're not looking very well, because it's been a conversation amongst some horror people.
I mean, I don't use that term very often. I think you do in comparison, so that's probably why.
It wasn't me that used the words. It was other people I've seen, the horror movie people and everything.
No, I get that, but I feel like that's a term that's being.
Like I said, I've heard very mixed things on the movie.
Oh, I've heard that too, but I'm not gonna jump to the conclusion that it's this type of horror movie. That's all
I'm not jumping. I'm just saying what I've heard. I can't say what it is one way because I've not seen the movie, so I'm not going to say what the movie is one way or other. I'm just saying what I've heard. So
I don't know. I heard it's worth a watch though. That's what I've heard. But maybe that's just coming from word of mouth from people I know.
Well, if they want to pay for it for me, maybe I'd watch it.
You college kids are all for the elevated stuff, so.
Hey, I don't care about that stuff, but fucking if other people do, great. If it's good, it's good. I don't really care.
What makes a movie elevated is when you're watching it in an elevator going up.
Yep.
God damn it. I feel like you use that joke too many fucking times.
But it's still fun. Anyway, let's talk about Twister. We're getting off track here. Let's talk about Twister because
I don't know what else to talk about Twisters. Or Twister.
Bill Paxton. He's in it.
He's great in the movie. Bill Paxton.
Oh yeah, of course.
Him and Helen Hunt work.
Oh yeah, for sure. They have great chemistry. Bill Paxton's good at anything he's in though.
And what's his name? His passed away now.
Oh, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman is really great in the movie.
He was really young in that movie.
Food. When they go to her grandma or aunt's house, I can't remember, and they eat all the steak and eggs. Man, that's a great scene.
I wonder in the sequel if we're supposed to feel sympathetic for the Twisters.
Oh, and the fucking music's really good too. music. It's really good in Twisters. Or Twister. Why do I keep mixing the two up? God damn it.
Twister sister. They're gonna come up with Sister Twisters next for the
Right foot green.
They're-
Twister.
See, I fucking hate it when like a movie that comes right after is like a fucking
with an S.
with an S at the end. It's like I mix the two up sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's the blob and then the blobs.
Yeah, like I fucking hate that shit.
The thing
Like-
and then the things.
Well,
Like-
that's
like-
different.
Well,
but-
okay, like
Those,
I feel,
well,
I feel like,
that's not. Those aren't real titles for it.
no, but I
made
feel
that
like,
up, right?
but I feel
no,
like
no.
Twister-
There's a movie called The Thing, and there's a movie called The Things.
But is it?
It has nothing to do with The Thing.
No,
Yeah,
it
no.
has
So
nothing to
that's
do
what I'm
with it.
saying.
I've never
not the
heard
same
of the
thing.
things.
It's actually called Things. It's a
Things?
really,
Yeah. See,
it's
so
a
my point is it would be dumb.
really
My point is it would
shitty
be.
horror movie.
My point is it would be
Okay,
dumb.
that's
if
probably
the
why I've
sequels
never heard
did
of it.
have the S on the end for that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, but what's even worse is now like you have The Thing, but then you also have The Thing, which is the
Or
prequel
same
to The
exact
Thing.
title. Yeah, that's even worse.
Yeah, yeah, and then you have Halloween 1978, but then you also have Halloween 2018, but they're just both called
They-
Halloween.
They
what-
they
how
did
about-
they did that for Shaft like 3 times.
Yeah.
How about we just name the next movie the last movie? Yeah, that sounds good.
I mean, at least with Twister and Twisters, even though it's a sequel, remake, reboot, whatever, at least they just name it Twister again. So-
I mean that's true, but I feel like they're captivating off of like the Alien and then Aliens type thing.
yeah, that's what they're doing.
But at least with Alien and Aliens, like I don't mix those two up in terms of like the title.
Yeah, but it's
I'm-
like some
I'm-
people.
I'm-
But
some
Aliens is
want
a
to
straight
say
sequel to
some-
Alien, so
but like
No,
some
I
people
know.
want
I'm
to
just
say
saying-
Alien.
No,
Some
I'm
people want to
just
say
saying-
Alien 2. It's Aliens because there's Alien
No,
3.
I know.
and
I'm
then
just
it's like-
saying I'm used to calling the first movie Alien and the sequel Aliens.
because
I
in the
can't
first
do-
movie, there's only one alien, and in the
Oh
second
my
movie,
God,
there's a bunch of
fucking-
aliens.
Oh my god, you fucking interrupted me. I know, Greg. My point is I mix that shit up with movies like Twister and Twisters, or I'll mistakenly call the first one Twisters because of the new movie coming out.
Yeah, because there's no like real differentiation in the
Yeah.
material. Probably
It's like
for it.
it's like a muscle memory thing. Like you're used to calling the first movie Alien and then the second movie Aliens.
Yeah,
I'm not used to that for
they
Twisters.
did do Predators too. I remember that Predators.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
God.
You know what? The more I think,
Honestly, not a great title to search up in general. Just Predators.
you know what? The more I think about this, like with the first movie Twister, as Helen Hunt and Jamie Gertz character, she was really just there for Bill, and she kind of got screwed over in the movie. She really did, and because once he got back there with his first love, he was like, "Yeah, you're my fiance, but we're done." So he really did kind of screw her over in that movie.
Yeah, I mean,
She really did do
Yeah.
nothing wrong. She really wasn't an unlikable character at all, like they would normally do.
yeah, no, she was fine, but like honestly, it's like the way you like see the movie progress and kind of their chemistry. It's like you can kind of tell that they were probably.
Oh, they
in the
clearly weren't
wrong-
going to last, but they usually typically would like make it. Oh, she's a bitch, so no wonder he's going to drop her. No, she was actually a pretty nice woman. It's just
Yeah,
clearly he
she
wasn't
was
into
not.
her.
She was nice, but she didn't want to go through the whole fucking tornado nerdy shit. It's like that's not really her thing. And then it's like, yeah, like I can't date someone like that because it's like I'm not into that kind of craziness. And I'm like, okay, like that's actually kind of refreshing, you know.
Yeah.
Like you said, instead of being a bitch and all that.
Yeah, because typically when they do like in a movie like that, they'll make one of them a bad person,
Yeah, I fucking.
and you'll be like,
I'm-
"Oh, that's why he's dumping her." No, and this she was just like, "Yeah, I can clearly see you're not into me, and I'm not really a bad person, so like, I'm done."
Yeah.
But all right, let's get another pick going on here. Who wants to go next? Tom or Rook? Who wants to go next? Because I
It's
know
Tom's turn.
Tom's turn.
My
You
turn?
ready? Yeah.
Okay, you guys like my shirt?
Yes. Dun, dun,
Just
Speaking
when you
of-
thought it was safe to go back in the water.
Yes, I almost forgot about in One Crazy Summer. They're filming the sequel to The Killer Dolphin. Like
Just
Jaws.
making fun of how the people on Nantucket or Martha's Vineyard would hate when they would do a Jaws sequel.
Yes.
So yeah, I watched this again.
Mhm.
This is actually the other version I have. I also have the standard one as well because I like that cover better. But I got this because it was the UK import and it has like lobby cards.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
And a miniature poster.
Yeah, I own the normal slipcover one released in the US because I like
I have
that
so
one.
many miniature posters now. I don't know what to do with
I
them.
know, right? And a book. Nice booklet.
I just keep them in the
And a lenticular back
case.
case.
Little-
Okay, so and this was a limited to 2000 release here on this one. But anyhow, now like one thing is like this one looks good, it's fine, dandy, all that business, has all the stuff from the Blu-ray carried over it, nothing new. But what pisses me off now is that 3 and 4 are getting released. They're getting a Dolby Atmos upgrade, and so this will be the only one that doesn't have a Dolby Atmos soundtrack.
Oh,
It doesn't
really?
even have fucking stereo. It's always been stuck in mono. I would have bought it again had they just give it a Dolby Atmos upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is my favorite of the Jaws sequels, as I'm sure it is most people's.
Yeah.
And really, I think it has a better score than the first film.
Oh.
It takes all the things that you love about the first film's score, but you add more stuff to it. John Williams, just does an amazing job with it. So, like, yeah, I mean, it's just sad that it has this standard mono mix.
Yeah. I mean, even with the new box set with all of them in it, it's not going to have the Dolby or whatever.
No, not that I know of. I would almost buy it again just to get that if it was the case.
Yeah.
But I know most people wouldn't. That's probably why they didn't.
Yeah.
They should have just given it a Dolby Atmos upgrade to begin with. I don't know why it's never gotten a new version of the sound. It's just weird.
I mean, considering the second one is the most liked sequel, and you're going to have the first one in Dolby, and the other 2, 3 and 4 in Dolby Atmos, and not part 2, that's kind of weird. So,
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know too many people who shit on the sequel all that much. Is it as good as the first one? No.
Yeah, I like 2.
yeah, too.
I like
It was
2 as
good.
well.
But they tried something a little different.
I like his paranoia of there being another
Yeah.
incident at the beach.
You got the paranoia. You got the kids with their story.
You know what's so funny? I remember like telling my mom and dad, like, hey, like I watched it was like when I saw Jaws 2 for the first time. I was like, hey, like I watched Jaws 2 recently. It's actually like surprisingly a really good sequel. And my parents were like, no, like fuck that. There's only one Jaws movie.
Well, the thing is, the first movie is basically a disaster movie meets a monster movie, right?
Yeah.
Well, this is a slasher movie.
Yep.
Oh no, for sure.
Because when you think about it, this is the same year that Halloween came out. Jaws ate more teenagers than Michael Myers killed teenagers in Halloween.
Yeah.
Like, and Jaws ate a fucking helicopter.
Yeah. It's like we talked about. It's like everybody says we want the like Jason or Michael to be like the shark from Jaws. Well, hello. This is this is a slasher movie.
That motherfucker just munch. He's hungry as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love this movie. It's fun. It's pure fun. Like you said, it's got the great. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say. I think you were gonna point this out too. But like, I like that they actually like show the shark more in the second.
Oh yeah,
one.
that was just exactly where I was going because the director's like, look, I can't have that surprise again.
You can't do what Spielberg did.
It's the same kind of thing with Planet of the Apes. Like you can't do the same type of super twist as he just already did.
So what does he do? He just makes sure when we do see the shark, it's more dynamic shots than we've ever seen before. So, Jean, what is his name?
Well, did they use a similar mechanical shark as before?
Yeah, it's the same exact shark, same exact well, not same shark, but same mold, and same kind of hydraulics and whatnot. Gino Schwartz, who also directed Supergirl and some other stuff.
Yeah,
he was the director of it, but he he came up with all kinds of unique and fun ways to film the shark attacks and to film the shark himself and to get it to work in ways that Spielberg never could. And no, I mean, this has some great dynamic shots in it. And I mean, the kids are likable, right? Like, I mean, you get to the heart of it. Like, that's why this film works, because we know we don't have Brody and Quint and Hooper as a trio anymore. We do have Brody, but he's dealing with his own issues, which works for the film, right? Because he's doing this thing again, like with the first movie, where nobody wants to believe him, but only this time everybody's treating him like he's just gone crazy. And he's literally just seeing ghost sharks in photos and stuff, you know, that aren't there or whatever, but they are. You know, he knows it's there, but no, it's just it's a very interesting film, and the way it's done, and the whole boat, you know, thing with the kids is a fun gimmick for the last half of the film, and it works for the climax as well. And yeah, I like it. It's fun.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
The best way to teach kids how to swim is to throw a shark in the water.
That's right. And then, of course, we've got the third dimension in terror, Jaws 3, which I watched in 3D.
I seriously watched as they're doing the intro of the camera and the body and the limbs. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna watch this movie. This is so lame. Like, it looked so pathetic.
In 3D, it's cool as shit.
I'm just like,
care.
Dude, I know.
It's like that arm, like in that opening shot. It's like in your face, man. It's like just sitting there looking like it's like literally hanging in front of you, and you're just like, man, this is trippy.
It looks so cheesy.
I unapologetically love the third film.
I didn't give it a fair chance because I literally only watched like 50 seconds.
No, the great thing about the third Jaws movie is it's what we wanted from every Jurassic Park movie and never got.
Yeah.
Like what do you mean?
Like, we actually have people trapped in a park with a killer shark and they can't get out. Like, that's the thing, because like in Jurassic World, like we literally get 15 minutes, if that, of what we've been waiting for all this time. You know, because the first movie, it's like what, 5 people in the park.
Yeah, it's just like pouring it.
Well,
like nobody's there.
They're doing a test run tour.
And the second movie is a little different, whatever. The third movie, same thing as the first one again, 5 people.
Yeah.
Then you finally get to Jurassic World, and all the previews made it look like, oh, the dinosaurs get out, and there's actually people in the park this time. Oh.
Nope, we're gonna do a really quick sequence of that, and then change it on back to normal stuff.
I know. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, no.
I feel like that's one thing Jurassic Park
the whole time.
I feel like it's one thing the Jurassic Park franchise failed at, was like having children be able to be killed, because if they did it, then I think it'd be easier to worry about them.
Well, kids
more
would be
in
getting
that,
picked
in
off
that
by
franchise.
pterodactyls left and right.
Yeah.
And a kid did.
Oh, I said a kids would. They're perfect prey for pterodactyls.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, they did that to an older woman. It's like, what if that happened to one of the kids or something?
Right.
Dude, that would be like, oh crap, who's safe now? Oh my god, no one's safe.
Yeah, and anyway, like I like that aspect of the film. The shark effects are actually a little bit better, except for that final 3D effect.
The final big explosion of the shark.
So when you say 3D, you mean like real 3D or the old tiny
real
version?
3D.
The old tiny version of 3D, because
it's real 3D.
Red and blues. Of,
it's real 3D. It's like the new stuff we have now. They actually did it back then. There was a small period where every time 3D would come out, you had the 2 versions. There's never been a time where you didn't have more than that. Like, that red and green or red and blue shit was just for like shit cinemas that couldn't afford to do the other version, because you had to have two projectors to actually do it that had like lenses in front of them, and it looked good if it was lined up correctly. So Friday the 13th, Amityville, Jaws 3D, all that stuff filmed all the way back up through the 1950s is in actual, 2 film strip 3D. But for home video, until we got to 3D TVs, and for theaters that only had 1 projector, they would do what was the anaglyph, which is what you're talking about, where they would literally take the two strips and do 1 in red and 1 in blue, and put it over the film, and basically that would give you like the illusion of a 3D movie. Right, but it's not a true 3D.
Okay, well, so in the movie theaters, it was a better effect back then.
Oh yeah, if you went to the proper theater, yeah.
Well, okay, well, because like Random Brad, like,
They weren't as
3D,
prominent
bro.
as
It's
they
like,
were.
Okay,
for
so
like,
Random Brad, my experience with 3D was as a kid, like 3D Spy Kids or something, or where it's just like, or just anything that had 3D. You had the glasses at home for home video, and I'm like, it's just not really 3D. It's like it's just kind of
Yeah, so
crappy
you've-
filtery, and so
have you gone to a
that's
newer
been my
3D
experience.
film?
I've
in
gone
recent
to
years?
it like it's been a few years, but like I saw one of the Resident Evil ones was like marketed in 3D big time. Yeah, it looked a little bit more. Yeah, it comes
You
out.
didn't have the red and
guess.
green; it had the actual.
It had the like normalish glasses.
Yeah,
with
see,
it.
that's
Yeah.
the way it used to be too.
Yeah, see, I never went to. I'm born in the 90s.
Now, when they
and I
did
never
like
went to a
Freddy's
3D
Dead,
movie when I was
by the
younger,
time they did
so.
Freddy's Dead, they didn't have any theaters that could handle regular 3D anymore, so they just did the regular blue and red.
I got you.
But now, as far as I know, they still actually have somewhere in the vault probably a 2-strip of that, to where that's what I've said before. Why didn't we get to where you could watch the ending of the movie in real 3D on the Blu-ray? They just never. They didn't even put the anaglyph version on there.
Yeah.
It's on the DVD only. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the
And
DVD
the old
only.
laser disc.
Yeah. Maybe if once they get to the 4K, maybe they'll finally put it out that way.
That'd be nice because I haven't
Yeah.
seen it in 3D since theaters.
Yep. But no, like I know Random Brad's asking, but that was not the 4K Random Brad that he had. That was the Blu-ray.
No, I don't have the 4K yet. In fact, the 4K supposedly, from what I heard, I don't know why they just don't give you this Blu-ray with it, unless they're redoing the Blu-ray with the new 4K remaster. Because this actually almost looks like it came from a 4K scan. The 3D version does,
Right.
And I'm assuming the regular version, because it looks really good. It looks better than the movie's ever looked in its entire existence, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Because the old movie has always looked rough because of the film stock it was on to begin with, which gets us to the controversy, which we have yet to see any images surface from Jaws the Revenge. So I don't even know if that's even true about Jaws the Revenge, but I can see AI having fun with this movie if they did. We've seen some pictures if they're real.
Yeah.
Where
We've
it
seen
fudged some shit up.
the faces, like the smiles of the people's
Yeah,
faces.
I
really
saw
bad.
those. They're crazy.
So we'll have to see. Tom will know before us because once he gets it, he'll be able to tell about the AI. So
Yeah,
we'll-
I was gonna say after seeing that, I'm like, I'm glad I didn't pre-order because that's some sus shit right there.
yeah. So it'd be interesting to see if it's just maybe like small isolated incidents in the third movie with certain people, or if it's really bad throughout. So you'll have to let us know about that, Tom, when you get that.
Yeah, I should actually have it by tomorrow, I think. I'm sad I didn't get it yet. I should have had it already, but
Yeah.
no, I didn't get any mail today. I don't know. It seems like lately my mail's been all fucked up. Like I get it like every other fucking day or something. It's really weird.
It's crazy.
Need to have pigeons back.
Right?
Ravens and pigeons.
I need to order me some new stuff. I haven't had a chance to get a lot of new stuff lately. It's been a low month for me.
Yeah,
But
that's
no.
my problem too. Is I got to back off a bit.
Oh
Yeah,
no, I gotta back off, especially after that
Because
Criterion
Bidenomics,
sale.
I can't afford it no more.
Well,
Shit.
Did you get sucked into any Prime Day deals?
Not as many as you would think. I
No,
actually,
I got sucked into the Barnes and Noble 50% off deals.
I actually only got. I think I only got one Prime Day deal so far. There's a few I have in my cart that hopefully will be. I don't think they'll be on sale anymore by the time I have the money for them, though. But
Yeah.
yeah, I only got
I
one
see.
thing, and that was it.
I seen a couple on there that I really wanted to get, and I'm like, I don't think I can buy them this month for the day.
Well, and the one I did, I kind of spurged on. It was the Ken Burns History of Country
Oh,
documentary.
nice.
That's one I've been wanting for a while, and it was on sale for $50, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get it now.
I know-
it
I
probably
know,
won't be that cheap again.
Yeah. I know they had it's a lot of TV series on there that I was kind of like. I did see for anybody that wanted it, it's too late now. But they had a Miami Vice on Blu-ray for like one of the cheapest prices I've seen it for like
How much was
$35.
it? Oh
Like
shit!
35,
Yeah,
36
that's a steal. 'Cause
Right?
I think I paid 50 or 60 for it. I think.
Yeah, and it's gone. It's gone.
Oh, that sucks.
So it was like $35, $36. I can't remember.
Oh,
And I was thinking,
man.
that's a great deal for that because that very rarely is on sale for that price at all.
That's a hell of a deal. It looks good and sounds good too because they actually did a 5.1 remaster for that one.
Yeah, and they got all the music rights back too.
Yep.
Because usually they don't.
Even though the 2-channel sounds just as good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but
yeah. But I mean, there were some deals I really want to get, and I was like, kids got to go back to school.
I would love to get the fucking pilot episode of Miami Vice in 4K. That'd be nice. I don't expect the whole show, but at least the pilot episode, the pilot movie would be nice.
Because it plays like a real movie.
It's a great fucking movie. That's why I was kind of disappointed with the Miami Vice reboot movie. I thought Michael Mann would just do his pilot episode, pilot movie again. Just update it, but no, it's not. I watched like 5. I've tried watching it like 3 times.
I've never seen it because I was just like, it doesn't look good.
And I actually got in a conversation with somebody about it the other day on Twitter, but like,
that one, I was gonna say that one seems to have a fan base though. Unless
I've heard so many bad things about it, and I don't want it to ruin the show for me. So like, 5 minutes in every time is about as far as I make it, and I just shut it off, and I'm just like, nope, can't do it.
Yeah,
can't do it.
It's funny.
I don't know. I was just gonna say, like, I've heard some people say like that, like some people are fans of it, unless you're just really hardcore like Michael Mann fan, then I guess. I don't know.
But yeah, so no, I enjoy Jaws 3. I'm sad to see that they're not getting a 3D version on the new one, so I can't, gift this one away. I'm gonna have to keep this one too.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'll really ever watch the 4K version. I almost canceled my order.
Yeah, after hearing about the AI.
Shit. It's like, what do I need it for? I've got the 3D version, so
yep, it's true.
I'm never gonna watch it in 2D. Why would I?
Yeah,
it does look like shit in 2D. I'm not gonna disagree with you guys on that one.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, there's still some shots in 3D that look like shit. So
it's that film stock, man.
Well, no, like that still image of the shark crashing through that, like. Why did they even do, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like,
that reminds me, because when you brought up Jaws 4, you said the novel was even more crazier than the movie.
Yes, and we'll probably talk about that next week. But
yeah, the Clark the Shark, who's usually in the chat sometimes, he sent me a picture. He's got the novel. He's like, he said, yes, it is crazier. He said it is crazier.
I finally got it. I found a copy of it for pretty cheap, actually. Not cheap, but cheaper than normally what it goes for. I just haven't read it again yet. But when I read it when I was a kid, I was just like, yeah, it is a fucking crazy shit. You got the voodoo curse on the fucking Brody family and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck?
He told me.
Well, that's because the author tried to make it make more sense. Because he read the script and he's like, "This is fucking stupid." Like a fucking shark don't take revenge. What the fuck? And then it swims from the shores of fucking Jersey all the way to the fucking Bahamas. What the hell?
It's coming for him.
That's not how the force works. So there's an author just trying to make sense of all this shit.
Little wormhole. It goes through Hollow Earth and goes to the other side. So,
well, have you guys heard on my Andre review of Jaws 3? Did I play that for you guys yet or no?
I don't know.
I don't remember. You may or may not have. I don't remember.
I don't know if I did or not.
I don't know.
Well, here, I'll play it. It's only like 2 minutes. Fuck it.
Our story follows Ellen Brody, who believes that a shark is targeting her family out of revenge.
It's Andre
like it's
AI.
the Godfather and they massacred his boy. The shark has a vendetta. I'm no marine biologist, but not so sure that's how the force works. But then again, considering how many sharks the Brody family has killed, the shark may have a point. They have single-handedly killed more sharks than global warming to this point, so I can see why he would have a vendetta to the Brody family. And speaking of vendettas and the Brodies, this shark has a GPS for the Brody family. It follows them from the icy waters of Amity Island to the Bahamas. Yes, the Bahamas. My GPS can't get me to a fucking gas station, but this shark can find the fucking remaining Brodies on Earth no problem.
Yeah, it's not the. I think that's not even the entire thing. That's just a bit of it.
It was really sounded very much like a Midnight's Edge video with him up until he started cussing. But
He cusses sometimes, but he says it differently than that. That's where people he doesn't like that, though. He goes, "It makes me sound like a fucking Swede."
Like I was gonna say, like almost everything up until the cussing was so fucking like scary. It's like it sounds like a fucking Midnight's Edge Andre.
It does. But the F word just kind of locks the accent.
I got like a 4-minute version of it too.
No, the fucking F bombs like broke the illusion.
You got it. You got to put together a video like you guys do with that. That voice
about it.
Dude, you need to do that for like. You need to do that for like so many fucking movies.
You know what? I kind of wish they would have made just made Jaws 19. It just made the movie.
What the fuck?
From Back to the Future.
Shark still looks fake.
Yeah, Shark still looks fake. I kind of wish they would have just made that into a movie. That would be kind of fun.
The reference to Back to the Future too.
Yeah, when it's Jaws 19, it's Shark.
Yeah, the hologram thing. No, that would have been cool. I didn't think they were gonna make a movie out of that though.
They're not. They would. I wish they would.
There's a trailer for it on the Back to the Future Blu-ray.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
that would have been cool. Like I would have liked that. I mean, considering like Back to the Future and Jaws are both Universal, like that would have been cool.
That would have been.
That would have been interesting if fucking Spielberg and Zemeckis.
Andre didn't do it, Steven. Actually, that's AI. I wrote it, and then
he said, "How straight face?"
Yeah, that's AI. Tom mentioned that earlier, by the way.
All right. Well, I guess we'll go. Any more words on this?
No, I think until next week, there's not much else to say on Jaws. I think we've exhausted that.
All right. Let's get you, Rook. What do you got for us?
All right. Well, since we're an hour and 40 minutes in, and this is my second pick for the night, I think I'll skip one tonight. And so we got a lot of movies we're covering apparently. So I'll just skip on to the next one, which is the very Brady sequel.
Well, we talked a lot about the Bradys already, so just give us the rundown on what you thought of the sequel. There you go.
We talked about the first one a lot last week. I love it. I love the Bradys. The Brady sequel also really great, freaking hilarious. I think they're a little bit more meta in this, a little bit more wink to the camera a bit, like very much aware of their things. Like even at one point, Bobby's like, I'm a private dick, and the guy's like, too easy. Okay, and like just there's like a lot of. Like it's mostly him even that's just like, this is a crazy family, what the hell, like these aliens from hell or so, like are pretty much is the gist with them. I like
the Bradys.
I thought the Greg and Marcia like plot line was hilarious because they're
that's based on real life, right?
Like to what specifically?
They fucked in real life.
Oh, I didn't.
Wait,
the originals.
Yes, the original people did. Yes.
Wait, I'm sorry. What movie is this again? I didn't pay
attention. Very Brady.
And Greg even supposedly either went on a date or slept with the mom too. There depends on who you ask.
For the cast. That's I thought in general it was just like
was fucking everybody on that set.
To me, without knowing that, I thought it was kind of a natural question because they're both the oldest. They're around when this would happen. They're from two different families that have come together. Their parents have married. It's that stepbrother, stepsister. Is this weird that we like each other or not sort of thing? And with them, with the Brady being the Bradys, like I don't
disagree that it wouldn't have possibly went there with the satire, but no, actually it was a wink nudge at the fact that that was like right after when, what was it, the oldest,
was that when she wrote her book?
It was either the mother or the oldest daughter wrote their book. Exactly. And it was in there. So
I feel like it could have gone to that anyway, just because the tension with it is kind of funny because they're both.
Or was it Greg that wrote the book?
I think it was Marsha. I think it was Marsha who wrote the book. But go ahead.
Yeah, they each want their own room, so they're like, okay, the attic. Instead of moving out wasn't a question. That was not an option. Even though they're like 17, they can pretty much almost adults at this point. But okay, so one of them wants the attic. They both do, but okay, they build this huge house of cards. The dad comes, or they have the ball come down. Marcia protects her nose, hits Jan. She knocks strawberry juice over onto the horse statue, and then dad comes in, gives another long speech of some kind about, hey, the glue to our family is like this house of cards here. The aces work together and the spades and blah blah blah, and blah 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 blah. Okay, they're like, so what are we supposed to do? Like, share it. And then they split the attic, and they just have a curtain in between them. And I thought it was funny. He's like, man, I can't believe I have to share my room with my sister. And he just looks at her, and she, with the curtain between them, it's a silhouette of her, and she's just she's changing her clothes, and he's just like, do what? Like, just like, no, damn, without looking at her face, that is a groovy chick over there. And then he turns around, he starts to change. She glances over. She's like, what? And then he's like, Marcia. She's like, yes, Greg. I mean, yes, Greg. Like, damn, okay.
I hope she didn't say yes, Greg.
That shit was hilarious. And then he's like, if that's really the husband, then you and I might not be brother and sister. And then like the whole movie is them like sort of trying to deal with, is it weird that we no, we can't do that. No. Like the whole time until they make out at the very end, real quick.
Yeah, because they're not brother and sister, really.
Yeah, they're not. And so I thought that whole plot line was hilarious. Jan, her stuff's not like great, but I feel like it does well for what she cares about. She's fixated on how Marcia thinks, and because everything's on Marcia, and nobody gives Marcia more attention than Jan. I feel, if anything, the rent-free in Jan's head with everything. She's trying to prove the whole time that she is a boyfriend, and then so antics with that. I like how at the very beginning, because I don't think I've seen this before. If I had, some things looked a little familiar, but not enough to really connect enough the dots. The guy pretending to be the husband, I like too. She's like, wow, you don't look like him at all, though. And he's like, yeah, the accident stretched my body out, morphed my face, whatever. Like how easy it is to trick the Bradys, because they're the happy-go-lucky Bradys and stuff.
And they all three sleep in the same bed.
Yeah, like they just they really nailed the comedy in this just excellently. When they go on their shopping trip, he's like going through hell as they're all singing and dancing, and he's like forced to tag along, and he tries to escape with the taxi, and they drag him back in to join in with their fun and go to some 70s shop to get clothing. And it's just like just funny. It works so well because how the Bradys like take it seriously. Like they're not serious, but you know what I mean. Like they're not winking themselves the whole time at the camera. They're just, yeah, this is what it is, man. Yeah, that's what it is. That's just how it is. I feel like that's part of the comedy that works. Like even when they go to Hawaii or when they go to the place, yeah, they're looking for their mom that's kidnapped, and Greg's surfing, mom. That like he's not looking for her like at all. Like nobody's really looking for her. So like that's a little funny. There's a couple of jokes that are kind of, they weren't bad, but they just felt like unneeded. Like when they're on the airplane and Marcia's like, "Oh, I forgot my brush," and then the plane goes in reverse. That's one of those jokes I'd be like, it's not funny enough to really have in here compared to your other bangers. But most of them all land, I would say. Last thing I guess I'll go to with it. I mean, I could say a bunch about it, but we talked a bunch about it last week and how good it is. But when they get to the very end, to the guy that wants to buy the horse and everything, so it turns out that he's like, that they tied that directly into Gilligan's Island, which I thought was kind of funny.
Her husband was liable to be the professor.
Was the professor, and yeah, he's like, because of you, my son's lost there, and they're on that island. They're marooned. Like that was a little funny. It's like an unneeded type of cameo reference or Easter egg sort of thing. Mr. Brady ends up having like super strength when he punches the guy. Pretty much, he's like, I'm trying to give a lesson. He gives a punch, punches him flying into the pool. Okay, damn, all right, super Captain Falcon Punch, man. All right, just pretty good. Just a good movie. The way that it's structured is as if it is just like an average TV show with it. Again, it's like they did a really good job at making it feel like it is the Brady Bunch show, but it's just fully spoofing it. And if they made a couple more movies, I feel like they could have, and they could have maybe done it okay.
I think there actually is a third one, but it's like the Sandlot. It's a straight to DVD third movie.
I think it has a couple of the same actors, but not many.
Most of them is a
I
completely.
think a couple of the kids are the same, but otherwise, like the two main. Or actually, I think Gary Cole might be in it, but the mom's different. I'm trying to remember who plays the mom.
Greg and Marsha's different.
Greg and Marsha's different. Jan's different, but I think the rest of the kids might be the same. Yeah,
it was a straight to DVD one.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing where I don't think they need to make more of these, but if they did, and if they were able to keep the same level of spoof comedy with it, then
I've never seen that other one, so I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I have never seen it either.
But I'm impressed with these two as they are. They feel like a very rare type of like respectful spoofing adaptation of a show that makes it feel like it is that show. Just they're also making fun of it. Like,
and they're just stuck. They're in the present
now. Yeah, just really good, really good shit.
Yeah.
Well, like I said last week, it's basically the reversal of the Addams Family.
Yeah.
Which I explained that to my mom as well, because she grew up with all this stuff big time, and she was like, no. When I first said that, she was like, nah, and I was like, well, no. In the Brady Bunch, in the very Brady movie and the sequel, yes, like it is like
not the original show, but
I think that's why there's the confusion.
And that's what I was saying is that's why it works in that respect, because otherwise that's why the Bradys were the Bradys, because it was in the 70s, but it was just that saccharine, Leave It to Beaver style, sitcom-y humor, right? Like oh gee golly gosh stuff. Nothing ever gets too much spicier or hotter. Like the most controversial thing about the Brady Bunch was that the mom and dad slept in the same bed.
Yeah.
Like that's the most and they were a combined family of, I think one was a divorcee and the other one was a widower.
Right.
Wasn't that the case?
I
think that's the case, if I remember right.
Yeah. That was like the most 70s of it.
Otherwise it was it's like we talked about last week. That was one of the main problems that the dad at the time had with the show, was that it was just basically this really saccharine kids show being sold as a sitcom, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and he didn't like all that kind of shit and how unrealistic it was, and he wanted the shows to have better lessons, and like I said, we also noticed that outside of the few times they did leave the house to go to like Hawaii and shit like that, was only the few times they ever did, because otherwise the entire episodes 9 times out of 10 take place, or 9.999 times out of 10 entirely within the house, right? Or within the vicinity
of a whole bunch of rooms. It's such a giant house, so
and
why
like
not?
one of the
all these
biggest
different characters
episodes when they went to Kings Island. I think that was like one of the first times it was really filmed.
Yeah, there's very few times they ever left the house, right? Like,
I
don't even know. Do they even show them at school ever? I mean, I know they talk about school.
I don't think they did.
But I don't think they ever did show them at school. Did they?
There was the episode where, like, the one where he like finds a stray cat in an abandoned house, and then
there's that.
And washes his clothes. That's like one area outside. I'm sure there's been a couple where they're at a park, maybe. I think, or maybe I'm just thinking of their backyard. Like, I don't even know now.
It's probably it was very contained, self-contained. But I think that's Speaking of which, I think that's why none of the Munster reboots have ever worked, because they're still trying to make the Munsters scary, everything all around. Right. Like they're on their like 4th reboot now, and they want to make it darker and scary. It's like, you guys are not learning from the sitcom and what made the Munsters so popular. Just like the Addams Family, just like the Brady Bunch.
Well, the Munsters, the difference between the Munsters and the Addams Family, I think we've talked about this before.
Yeah, we've talked about it,
Whereas, like, basically the Munsters are completely unaware that they're different, right? Like, they think they're the norm.
Well, that's kind of the Brady Bunch as well. Like, they have
the Addams Family. They know they're different, but they relish in that, and they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't care.
Like, that's the difference.
Like, we know we're weird. The Munsters, like their niece or whatever, who's like the normal human, she's the monster. She's the weird one. So like they're normal, she's not, and they keep trying to make everything like a scary like 50s. Like they're missing the point. If they would do sort of do something like the Addams Family and the Brady Bunch thing, like play the Munsters like that, I think it could work. But I wouldn't trust today's.
Well, the original show's concept was they lived in Transylvania, and they were with a bunch of other monsters over there, right? So then they came over here, and over here they were the weirdos. But like you said, they had their niece, who they always look on as the ugly monster because she's not like the rest of them.
The beautiful chick,
and they think everybody else around them is the problem, right? Like,
right. Well, that's kind of what made it kind of funny, in at least in what I've seen of Addams Family style stuff is like, they're torturing somebody and they're screaming, but they're just like, oh, isn't that nice? They're making new friends, and
I mean, they conform, but they don't conform in the way that, like, you know what I mean? Like,
they're able to function in society sort of, relatively. Well, just like in the Brady Bunch, like he just makes the same architect thing all the time, but it's like everybody treats him like he's a fellow coworker who works at the place and is in society, lives in the world, and he's like, you telling me that there's you can connect a cable to my television and get 50 extra channels? Huh, you try to fool me, mister. Just like these silly heads. It's like, okay, there's so much hilarious shit in here, like when the Foster's like, hey, you gotta learn how to kill, steal, whatever, and lie. And then Peter's just like, okay, wow, yeah. And he goes and later tells his dad, he told me I should learn how to lie, steal, kill, and everything. He's like, oh, is that right? Okay. And then it's just so nonchalant, like what's being said. It's like, oh, the big house. Oh, he was not quite the nice fella we thought he might be. Oh, gee whiz. Like, it's just not. There's like no day. It's almost like they're under a weird spell of just they can never break this character of we're all happy, we are smiles, we are
that's
good.
How they roll.
Jan's like the only one who gets like upset, or Marcia if something happens to her beauty, but then usually something good happens anyway, like magically. So it's good. But anyway, that's the Brady sequel. I love it. I wish that any type of spoof attempts or adaptation attempts would kind of learn from not just ones like this. There's other ones that are good, but this is a really good example of like taking the best of a series and making it a movie and not feel like it's just like a weird clip show, or just, it does it right. It does it right.
All right.
My last one, I'm not going to do it yet. I'm just telling people so that they stick around. Revenge of the Nerds will be my last.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, okay, so I'm going to go to me. This is a Shout Select title, and it is Summer School, starring Mark Harmon, a Carl Reiner film. So, yeah. This is a good movie. I love this movie. I've always loved this movie. It definitely deserves a better release than what Shout Factory gave it. I'll say that much because it's Shout Factory as usual. But the crux of this movie, which is a great movie, I absolutely love this movie, is that Mark Harmon is the gym teacher of this school, and he's getting ready to leave. It's, school's out, they're going into summer. He's getting ready to go to Hawaii with his girlfriend on vacation, and the guy that Carl Reiner, who actually directed, he's in the movie at the beginning, he's playing lottery tickets, and he's the teacher that's supposed to teach summer school, and he ends up winning $50,000. So he quits, and then they need to find somebody to teach summer school since he's gone, and he won the money. And so all the teachers are rushing and leaving and won't talk to the guy. And then Mark Harmon's character, who's the gym teacher, gets caught, and he ends up having to teach summer school, or else he'll lose his school tenure. So he teaches English class to a bunch of misfit kids. It's got my two favorite characters of some of my two favorite characters ever, Chainsaw and Dave, who are horror movie freaks who love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and want to become like Rick Baker, a makeup artist, special effects artist. They're in his class. He's got the surfer girl who's always dreaming. He's got the pregnant girl. He's got this kid that's always sleeping all the time. And he's got the kid that should be a nerd, who's in the class. All of his brothers and sisters are smarter than him. And he's actually the voice of Billy from Billy and Mandy, and the alien. What is that alien from Nickelodeon? The alien, I can't remember it. Vader Zim. He's in voice of Vader Zim, whatever the guy that is like a major cartoon voice guy, but he plays the nerdy guy, and he's got the tough as nails chick who's like who can't read. So like they got everybody there, and he, it's one of those movies where like he decides he's going to try to teach these kids and help these kids improve, and they want things from him in return, and like the hilarity ensues. It's a great movie, fun movie, highly recommend it. It's a good one of those all-time classic 80s movie. So yeah, that's the movie. It's good. It's got some great funny bits in it. There you go. I'm done. Excuse me. So
Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic.
What were we talking about now? I just
Summer School.
Summer School.
Oh,
which I think I brought on here like a year ago.
Yeah, you brought it on.
I was gonna say somebody brought that on. It was
Tom
probably
did.
you.
I hadn't watched it, and I finally watched it, and so I brought on my shout. The shout.
Got Danny Elfman score with a good Danny Elfman song.
I thought it was Shit Factory.
It is Shit Factory. Yeah, it's got Danny Elfman in it.
It actually has some special features, but I think all those special features actually come from the DVD release. If I'm not mistaken.
All but one. All but one. Yeah. They have one new special feature, and it's basically a Zoom interview with Richard Stephen Horwitz, who I just mentioned was the voice of all those cartoon characters. So, yeah. That's about it. But it's well worth it. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend the movie. The movie is worth it, and it's a good summer watch. And it's got, like I said, if you're a horror movie fan, the Chainsaw Dave are the best characters. They're the ones that everybody remembers from the movie. So, yeah. And like for a while there, Dean Cameron followed us. As a matter of fact, that's when you brought on Summer School, everything was like coming up Dean Cameron all around us, who played Chainsaw in the movie. Because like every movie we found was him, and he was showing up on our posts and everything. I guess the algorithm hit his name on us. But there you guys have it. Runner, if you're ready, we can move to you. If you're good to go.
Yeah.
Or you gotta pee.
This whole time he's been pounding away a 6-pack.
It sounds like he's doing something.
I can hear him drinking this
whole time. The whole time you hear him drinking and chewing and everything.
Gulp.
No, literally. I'm just fucking chilling, watching you guys or listening to you guys.
It sounds like
shit.
He doesn't sound too gone yet, so he's good.
Yeah.
That's what we've been hearing most of the show.
He's growing a nice beard too. All right, shit, he's getting older. All right.
I have been well trained over these years.
Runner's growing up.
He's growing up.
You know what? Just because I have so many picks, I have two movies here that are both starring Johnny Depp. So just to make things quick, I got Crybaby, and I got Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Both very good movies.
Yeah.
Fear and Loathing.
I've not heard of either of those.
What?
You weren't on? Tom just literally brought on Crybaby. Like, weren't you here when he brought it on?
I love how it's like, you're killing me, Smalls. It's never gets old. It's always a surprise.
Jesus Christ!
Were you not on the episode that Tom brought that on?
I don't remember.
It was like a week or two ago.
I might not have.
And by the way, I got both of these at Barnes and Noble.
I'm curious if the Criterion, because I've got the import of Fear and Loathing with the Arrow one. I'm curious if they have the same stuff on them or not. Usually Criterion has exclusive crap.
Like special features wise?
Yeah.
I'm
assuming they're same exact scan otherwise.
The scan's great.
Yeah, the movie looks good. I just wonder if the special features are the same. Because I got the Arrow version of it.
Yeah. And the movie's even more trippy if you're not sober. That's for fucking sure. That's the way to watch it, if you ask me. But Fear and Loathing's, I don't know. I enjoyed both of them, but I think Fear and Loathing might be my favorite. That's a little more my cup of tea. I've never been huge into musical type movies, but Crybaby was pretty good. Liked it a lot more than I thought I would. But yeah, I got both of these at Barnes and Noble, but I got the Fear and Loathing specifically for the 50% off. and they had like a few of the 4K ones available in their shelf. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about them. They're damn good movies. I feel like Tom or Greg would have to say more about these than me, since
we already like talked about them a while back. So
Yeah, more
that's,
recently.
yeah, that's true. But I did watch them recently, so I guess more points for me.
Yeah, no, and Crybaby is actually John Waters' only PG-13 rated film.
That sounds about right.
Technically his only big studio picture, if I remember right, too.
Yeah, because it's Universal.
Yep. There you go.
Here goes in his back. I think Fear and Loathing is better where the Buffalo. There you go, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
it was a long conversation. It was awesome.
but yeah, like, was it Crybaby? Like, considering it's like a studio film and all that, because it's Universal, and I think like John Waters is purely just like indie type shit. And I have a fuck ton of friends. Believe me, I have a fuck ton of friends that are like huge John Waters fans. So they like to watch fucked up type shit.
Well, and it bothers me again. Here we got another one where they took the 4K remaster stuff, but then mixed in the lower res director's cut stuff. Why they just didn't do it on the 4K is beyond me. But
yeah, it's crazy.
Although the director's cut stuff is not all that
great.
I mean, it's some stuff, but it's like not like it doesn't change the movie astronomically. Like another one we may talk about in just a little bit.
Well, if you're done there, Runner, we're gonna move on.
I'm trying to think of what else to like really say. I mean, this is the only John Waters film I'd seen so far, and the only reason why.
Oh shit!
Yeah, no. Here's why. Like you heard me say that I have a fuck ton of friends that like John Waters, right?
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Taylor Rook.
Yes.
Fucking. I want to watch like Pink Flamingos and all those other fucking movies like with like a group of friends that actually like his shit. Like I don't want to watch that shit by myself. That's kind of my rule at the moment. But I hear because this is like his only like PG-13 or whatever. I was like, you know what? I'll watch this as my first John Waters, and fuck, I respect John Waters. Like that dude does not give a fuck, and I like that about him.
She watched Serial Mom.
I've heard about that one. Yeah, but like fucking like if you hear him in like interviews and shit, like you've seen that like smoking ad that he did, right?
Yeah, I know. I've been aware of John Waters for many more years than you have.
Yeah, it's a very, very obvious question. You probably have seen it, but like fucking like at the Cult Cinema Club thing that I'm a part of, like the host literally plays that fucking ad every time we watch a movie. It's like it's a shit. I forgot what he said. It's like just like the idea of like why they don't allow cigarettes in movie theaters and shit. It's like if you're watching a long ass fucking movie, like and you're not allowed to smoke, it's like that's fucking terrible or some shit. I'm summarizing obviously, but yeah. He said it a lot more like ballsy and shit, but there was like a little like it was like a shorts thing on YouTube that I saw like months ago of somebody interviewing John Waters at like a store or something, and like they asked him like advice for like up and coming filmmakers and stuff. I don't know if you saw it, but this is like more recent, and he was like something like if you're questioning if your film need to be cut, like the answer is yes, and then he said show it to an audience, and it can't be the person you're fucking or your mother. like he says shit like that, and I'm just like, man, he does not give a fuck, and I kind of respect that about him because he's like strictly just, you know, an indie filmmaker and stuff, and I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the only John Waters film I've seen. It's pretty good, even for someone that's not huge into musicals. I think I liked it a lot more than I thought. Fear and Loathing. It's pretty fucking crazy seeing Tobey Maguire with blonde long hair in the beginning. That was pretty crazy, and some other fucking famous people that make an appearance in this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
it was very good. Probably, I'm trying to think. I think this might be my favorite Terry Gilliam that I've seen so far. I haven't seen all of his stuff, but this might be my favorite of his.
All right. Cool.
All right, that's enough. Whoever is next can go.
All right. Tom, you ready? It's your turn.
All right, it's Tom's turn.
All right. So where do I go from here? Oh my gosh, because there's a couple places I could go.
Go whatever feels natural.
God, that's
Well, speaking of like
gay.
multiple cuts of a film, then let's go there. I'm trying to save the bigger ones for last, but this is a movie I've been wanting to see for a long time. It was a difficult one to come by in the days of video, and I believe it's had a DVD release, but I just never got my hands on it then. But Criterion just brought it out. It's called Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid. And it's got Chris Christopherson and James Coburn in it, and Bob Dylan, and he also does the soundtrack. And which of course is why it's probably most well remembered because of the song "Knocking on Heaven's Door."
Yeah.
But there's 3 different versions of the film on here: the original theatrical cut, a 50th anniversary cut, and an early cut. And I know that damned idealistic Crusader's probably doing a video, if he hasn't dropped it already, where he's got issues with this release, and I don't know too much about the history of it. But what I've seen of the film, it's basically a lot of the same story that's covered in Young Guns 2. But it's a bit more grittier version of it. It is the same kind of idea. Like, really, in a weird way, Young Guns 2 is almost kind of a remake of this.
Right.
In a fucked up kind of way. But in the end of the film, though, of course, it doesn't end the same way. But, I mean, I don't know how historically accurate it is. It does actually have some things in it that other movies and stuff about Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid haven't. Like, it does start with the death of Pat Garrett. And that's fairly close to what happened, probably. Most people don't know exactly, but from what most people assume happened, that's pretty close here. Bob Dylan kind of just plays, I don't even know if he's playing like a specific character or not. He just kind of like wanders in and out of the film. It's kind of weird because he doesn't have very many lines, which is kind of weird because it almost feels like, especially at this age, he has that thing where when he's on screen, your eyes go right to him.
Right. He draws you in.
He draws you in, but he doesn't have really much for lines, and maybe that's just because he's not a great actor. I don't know. I've never seen him in anything else, so I can't speak to that.
I don't think I've ever actually seen this one either. So,
but unfortunately, the early cut by Peck and Pa is not on the 4K. It's only on the Blu-ray. But the theatrical cut and the 50th anniversary cut are on the 4K.
So what's the big differences?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. The running time, there's like a 20 minutes difference. So I'm sure it's a lot of bits and pieces. I've never seen the original version, so I couldn't tell you.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so but I mean, overall the movie is pretty good. I understood it. The music's really good, like I said. It's sad that they didn't do like a 5.1 remix for it, considering the music, but
yeah,
just straight mono.
Yeah. Brian Barr says there's 5 cuts of the film.
Is it? I thought it was only 3.
I
don't
only
list 3 on the back. 50th anniversary, original theatrical cut, and final preview cut.
Huh. I wonder where the other 2 cuts are then. Brian Barr says nope, there's 5. Where are they at then? Because it only lists 3.
Yeah, and I didn't check much out else. Otherwise, I put in the Blu-ray. Started watching some of the other cut, and I just put in the 4K. Because to my understanding, I guess the 50th anniversary is fairly close to that version that's on the other disc. But yeah.
He said they didn't include the Turner
Well,
preview cut and the 2005 Citadel cut.
Then they're not on here. See that? Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, well, so it's a good one. It's a good. You can recommend it.
Yeah, I don't know about the price though, because you know how Criterion is.
Yeah.
I'd wait for it to be on a sale probably, and
The 50% off Criterion sale.
It's still going on right now though, right?
Is it still?
Yeah, but I don't know if this one's included in it because it's a brand new title.
Yeah, that's a new one.
Don't they do that for brand new titles too?
Not sure. Let me look.
I'm pretty sure they do. Criterion's pretty good at that type of stuff.
If that's the case, I'm pissed because I just bought it. It was like $50 fucking dollars.
Well, fuck. No, because I fucking no. Okay, here's why. Because I fucking bought Les Samurai on 4K, and I'm pretty sure that was 50% off. And that was a new 4K that came out recently.
No, it's still listed as $48.99 on Amazon. So, and they usually match whatever.
You get
This
to
is Barnes
the
and Noble,
Barnes and
though.
Noble 50% off sale.
Yeah, but
Criterion
usually
sale.
Amazon matches whatever they got.
Do they?
Yeah.
I don't know
Let's
the
see.
shit. Well, here's the thing. I didn't buy the Criterions online. I actually like drove to the nearest Barnes and Noble I could to get that shit. So that's probably why.
Oh, well, the Blu-ray is 50% off. The 4K is $34.99. I guess that's 50% off.
I'm seeing
Jesus.
it.
Yeah.
It's right. Yeah, as soon as
No,
I
the-
logged on.
The 4K should be like $25. So
Yeah,
it's
the
like
Blu-ray's
full prices.
$24.99 for the pack carrier kit. Blu-ray's for $24.99.
The 4K is 35 though.
Yeah, the 4K is 35. Yeah.
Okay, because the 4Ks that I've gotten recently for the 50% off were like 25 because the original.
Well,
price
once again,
is
though,
50.
this is a new movie, so it's still a little higher.
No, but did you not hear what I said earlier? I picked up a recent 4K release of Criterion and I got it on the sale. So that's why.
Yeah, I heard you.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
No, you're just pointing out that that's a new release, and it's like I got something that's also a new release too.
No, what I was pointing out is because it's a new release, it's a little more expensive still with the 50% off than like the ones that are $20.
Yeah, because
So,
like I got Fantastic Planet and stuff like that for the same price there are at Barnes and Noble. That's what I was saying.
Is that like a bundle pack or something of other movies? Is that why it's priced higher?
No,
No.
it's just 3 discs. Probably that's why.
Okay.
Brand new. That's why. And new movies are overpriced. That's why.
Yeah, the movies are starting to get overpriced. That is true.
That's why when the physical media dude on the Twitters was talking about how he thought it was bullshit that the average price for a 4K was $40. I'm like, have you bought a 4K Blu-ray lately, dude?
No, that's true.
They all are. Like, yeah, that's like the average price now, $35 to $39.99. That's why I can't bitch too much about Paramount's. Yeah, I paid $51.68 for that motherfucker.
That's like the standard, yeah.
For Billy the Kid and Pat Garrett.
That's
I got
crazy.
screwed.
Yeah, because you could get it for a lot cheaper.
Christ,
Oh.
yes.
That's crazy.
Almost $20 cheaper.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Fuck it. I'm
Yeah.
never doing that again. I'm done buying Criterions. If
Criterion.
they're more than like, yeah, I can't justify that shit.
They're insane anymore. All right, so I know Rook's got one left, and he's going to want to talk about it. So, Runner, are you going to do any more? Are you cognitive enough to do any more, or whatever?
I still got at least 2-ish.
Because Tom's got a couple more, and I know you got a little more. So, do you want to do any more, Runner, before we get? Because I only got one left, and Rook's only got one left.
You know what? Fuck it. I don't want to like keep this stream on for too long. It's already past 2 hours. I'll just show like one more and like combine it since you and Rook got
That's already
one
what
more.
I'm doing, yeah.
Okay. And these are movies that Rook should watch. This is why I'm bringing them on, and they're both David Lynch movies because David Lynch is fucking awesome. Blue Velvet and Mulholland Drive.
Believe it or not, those are two of his films that I haven't seen yet.
What?
Wow.
Blue Velvet.
Crazy.
Well, I tried to watch it, but I never got a chance to.
I've seen
Mulholland just
Drive.
never really. I don't know. It just never looked like one I wanted to see, and I just never got to it.
Mulholland
It's got a
Drive.
great lesbian scene in it, but
Yeah, yeah, it
so-
does. But Mulholland Drive is probably my favorite Lynch movie that I've seen so far, and it's not because of the lesbian scene. It's just the whole story is really good. Like, I think the whole story is like fucking amazing. Blue Velvet is strange, but it's very good. Blue Velvet I got in the Criterion sale. Mulholland Drive I got like a while ago. In like a different, I think I bought it in their website. But yeah. That's surprising that you've never seen these two, Tom. That's actually insane.
Was that Angelina Jolie on the cover of one of those?
That is fucking hilarious that you think that. No.
Well, it was only on there for a second that I saw it, so that was the first face that came to mind.
No, it is not Angelina Jolie.
Okay, it's not. I got you.
Rook, you like the Punisher movie, right? The one with
yeah.
John Travolta.
Yeah.
That's the woman that plays his wife in the Punisher.
Yeah, no, I got you. Just when it was on screen, his hand was
this
covering
one?
half.
Yeah, she plays John Travolta's wife in the Punisher.
Right, yeah, I recognize her now.
This is Naomi Watts.
Naomi Watts, yeah.
I forget her name. What's her name?
I don't know her name,
Like-
but I know
like
they
Lo-
get.
it's like-
John
I know they have a
Travolta, like in the
great
Punisher,
scene where
right?
they're both buck ass naked lesbian with
She-
each other.
listen,
So
She is.
Well, okay,
she
you
is-
sold me on
she
the
is-
movie now.
She is fucking hot though. I mean, they both are, but like, especially her. That's for fucking sure.
But I'm
Now I'll see
same as
now I'll
Tom. I
definitely
haven't
see
seen
it.
Blue Velvet. I've not seen Blue Velvet. So
Really, I'm surprised.
yeah, I've not seen that.
Fucking Dennis Hopper's the bad guy in it.
Yeah, I know. Who's
Maureen
in
Har-
it. I just
Maureen
It's
haven't
one
seen
I've
it.
wanted to see. I just never got a chance to. Yeah.
Fucking Dennis Hopper's batshit crazy. You'd love it for that reason alone. And was it? I don't know. They're both. Yeah, that there you go. Steven said it. Was it? I forget. There's,
Yeah.
no, but fucking Mulholland Drive. It's like it's also like very like Hollywood driven and shit. Like Naomi Watts's character like wants to be an actress and all that, so she goes to Hollywood to audition and shit. And it's very like I need to rewatch it again, but I remember like really liking it the first time. But it's definitely like one of those movies you gotta like rewatch. And this was like early 2000s David Lynch. Mulholland Drive. But Blue Velvet, he did that movie after Dune, which in David Lynch's words was it's a sadness in his experience. But yeah, like Blue Velvet's good too. I brought those on because I would assume Greg and Tom would have at least seen these.
I've seen Mulholland Drive. I haven't seen Blue Velvet.
Okay. At least you've seen Mulholland Drive. That one's probably my favorite Lynch movie that I've seen so far. But I brought those on specifically because I'm like, Rook, like if you want to be a filmmaker, like you gotta watch some of David Lynch's stuff.
Well, you said lesbian scene for that movie, so I'll watch that. So no problem.
It's good. It's good, but the whole movie is good by itself. And dude, the score for Mulholland Drive though, oh my god, so good.
You gotta love David Lynch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see.
But yeah, I mean, they're very David Lynch though. Like they're very weird, but I'd say Mulholland Drive is probably his most accessible movie of his filmography that I know of.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still need to see his older shit like Eraserhead and Elephant Man and stuff. But
Yeah. In Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks, obviously. I need to watch Twin Peaks. But Blue Velvet, I think you should watch it. You should give it a chance, Greg.
Yeah, so it's, much like Tom, it's something I've been meaning to get to. So, all right. Yeah. Let's go see.
But Rook, you gotta watch those. Put those in your list.
Okie dokie.
There you go. So Tom, are you gonna combine your last two, or do you want to separate them?
Well, what I have is I got two that. Well, you'll see what I'm saying here.
Okay, go ahead, Jen.
Okay, so I got back to my John Grisham courtroom shit. So I got a whole bunch of these all came out pretty close to each other, actually. And I think two of them actually came out the same year. So we got The Firm in 4K. We got A Time to Kill, Pelican Brief, and The Client. This is in a 4-pack or a 3-pack from Warner. And this, of course, comes from Paramount, and it's one of their cheaper ones. Semi-decent 4K. It has some... I think I remember telling you it does have some DNR issues or whatever you want to call the neat issues here and there with like some stagnant grain and stuff here and there and some smearing and stuff. But it's not overall too bad.
I have that 4K, but I haven't watched it yet.
No, it's not too bad. It's all right. The movie though itself though is actually, I don't think I've ever seen it before. I thought I had, but I guess I hadn't. I don't think. Because I think I would remember a lot of this stuff. But no, it's really fucking good. A lot better than I thought it would be. Really keeps you on the edge of your seat. Now, there's some of the stuff in this movie that I know that it'd be kind of like bullshit.
Yeah.
And I guess they did change quite a bit from the book. But overall, though, it's still a pretty good movie. Like from the book, like they make the character a lot more likable and not so sleazy and stuff because it's Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
You know, shit like that.
And he does his running.
He does his running. Plenty of running.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one's pretty good. And you'll notice a pattern with a lot of the similar actors involved in these movies too, which is odd, like Donald Sutherland and others. And even the guy who just passed away this week, and I forgot his name, who played the dad on Doogie Howser. He's in a bunch of these too. And
Brian, what was his name? I can't remember,
John Hurt's in a bunch of them too, and just a lot of the same actors that like run through them. It's really kind of weird.
Great character actors. So.
Yeah, great character actors all throughout. And the guy who played the doctor in Silence of the Lambs is in a bunch of them too.
Oh yeah.
He always plays a sleazeball. But then of course you got Time to Kill, Pelican Brief, and The Client. And I mean, out of all four of these movies, Time to Kill is probably his best one. I mean, let's be real. The second best one, probably Pelican Brief, then The Client, then The Firm still. Although I did enjoy this quite a bit, I would still go in that order. Just because this one has a few things in it. It's like, I know they're like, you can get past that or over that hump. Because like, so basically for those who don't know what The Firm is about, it's kind of like Stepford Wives meets, how do I put this? Because it's weird. It's not, well, it's like, because it's like the firm is like run like this secret organization inside the firm, and there's a secret, and like the wife kind of picks up on it first, then Tom Cruise kind of starts picking up on things aren't quite what they seem, and he starts going down this rabbit hole and of paranoia and whatnot until it turns out that he might actually be onto something kind of thing. You know, I don't want to give too much of it away.
Slowly unravels.
Slowly unravels, but there's like certain things where he's like talking about like the, you know, I ruined my career because of the client, lawyer rule or whatever you call it. And it's like, dude, it doesn't cover up crimes. Attorney-client privilege. It doesn't cover up crimes, and it only covers things that have already happened.
Right.
So, yeah. So there's like a lot of like, Tom, come on. Like, but it does wrap itself up because the whole point is he's kind of stuck in this kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation he's got to find his way out of. But I don't want to give too much of it away because Runner, you said you hadn't watched it yet.
Good night, Brian Barth.
Take care, Brian Barth.
And good night, Phoenix Night.
There was actually one day where I started watching The Firm, but I didn't like finish it. But it was like the first like 15 to 20 minutes or some shit.
Yeah, I don't want to give too much of it away because there's some nice twists in it.
Oh, nice.
And I'm assuming all of you have seen A Time to Kill.
Yes, I have.
I mean, it's one of the greatest trailers ever fucking made.
Yeah.
Nope.
I mean,
I've
don't
seen
answer
it.
that question. Yes,
I've
they
seen all
deserve to
these.
die, and I hope they burn in hell. I mean, yeah, it's one of the greatest. I mean, yeah, because every dad in that moment's like, yeah. Fuck yeah. I mean, this movie is just a movie for men, right? Like, I mean, if you're a father, you can relate to this film in so many levels between the Matthew McConaughey and the Samuel Jackson character. It's one of those films that still, you know, where like when kids nowadays talk about the race relations and stuff, it's like in this era when this movie is there still was that racial tension in the South.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, and I'm not saying it still doesn't exist in certain Southern places to this day, but like it was still really prominent at that point. Still, like there was places where black people couldn't even still go yet. And, you know, there was a different kind of justice back then still. But that's what this movie kind of helped bring to light was certain, even though, I mean, technically he is guilty of what he did. The whole movie rests upon the idea of, would it make any difference if it was a white girl?
Yeah. And
that it had happened to, right?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Was he justified as well?
Yeah. Was he justified in the killing and all that kind of stuff?
Yes.
And, you know, Kevin Spacey's great playing the bad guy as always. And, you know, I mean, Sandra Bullock's probably one of the weaker parts of the film, to be honest with you. I mean, she's all right in it, but she's like,
yeah, she's just kind of there.
Like
everybody's out acting her in the movie. So.
Kind of. That's the problem. Now the Pelican Brief, though, you got, even though I find it really hard to believe that I almost wish they would have flipped the two, because I could see Sandra Bullock actually being smart enough to write the Pelican Brief. I don't believe Julia Roberts is smart enough to write the Pelican Brief.
I'm with you.
That's all there is to it. I mean,
Yeah,
I just don't. She's no way, because she's figuring shit out that nobody else can figure out, right? Like, and for those who don't know what this movie's about, it's there's two senators that end up dead, or not senators, judges that end up dead in the same week or whatever. And she's a law student, and she gets this idea of, well, what are the two things they got in common? Like, and she even says it earlier in the movie, like when she first starts formulating her thesis or whatever, that, you know, this is all shit they would have thought of already. Mm-hmm. So, like, I mean, at least she acknowledges it, but at the same time, like I said, so she makes this brief. Her law professor boyfriend takes it to a friend who actually works in the FBI, I think it is. And then he starts handing it around and starts getting around. And the thing is, it actually starts catching attention because it holds some water. And of course, it leads all the way to the White House. So people start dropping like flies, and everybody's looking for her. And she's on the run, and the only one she can trust is Denzel Washington, who happens to be a reporter. And if he, of course, has already kind of had a bit of an in on this sort of story from another angle, from somebody else who was on the inside trying to contact him, who also turns up dead. So the intrigue and all that business, it works really well for it. Then you got The Client, which is a completely different film from all these. And this is what I love about John Grisham, is he's able to come up with all these different kinds of stories surrounding, you know, a lawyer usually, right?
Yeah.
So then you get to The Client, which is where this kid and his brother witness a guy killing himself, but it wouldn't be a big deal, but he actually said some stuff to the kid ahead of time that may lead the FBI to a dead body that would help bring down the mob. And unfortunately, the kid's like scared shitless of what they'll do to him. So he ends up employing Susan Sarandon as a lawyer to help him with his rights and stuff. And it's a really kind of cat and mouse between Tommy Lee Jones and Susan Sarandon, who do a bang up job in the movie. And again, it's an enjoyable film. All four of them are really great films, and they make you can make a great night of all four of them, a couple of them, whatever. But yeah, so there you go.
Now you got to watch Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil.
I've seen that.
Yeah, that's
not one of my more favorite ones of his. It's okay, but
it has its moments.
Got its issues. Yeah,
it's not the greatest.
No, I got The Chamber yet to watch, which is one I haven't seen yet, and I mean, I think there's a couple other ones I've seen of his, but yeah, there's not very many left that I haven't seen now. That were made into movies anyway.
Now, I like this real quick before we get because RJ Gasilla asked, was it Julia Roberts' first movie after? Was this his first movie after?
No,
and then
this is a couple years after that.
No, she did Sleeping with the Enema.
Yep.
It's Enema.
Yeah, she did a few. Yeah, it was her comeback movie though. After a few stinkers, though. Yeah.
I just like it's supposed to be enemy, but he says enema.
Yeah.
So
Well, it kind of was.
Yeah, I know. But yeah,
Nobody
she
remembers that movie.
did. Yeah.
I mean, we remember it, but nobody does on purpose. No. No, and it's funny because The Client has been made into a TV show not once but twice.
Yeah, I was gonna say that wasn't that made it. I was about to ask that. Yeah.
I don't know how long the original one lasted, but they actually have the pilot movie on here with Joe Beth Williams, so I don't know if it ever actually made it to television.
Series.
They did have one back in 2011 that ran for 3 seasons. I can't remember who was in it, but
yeah. Did you?
Funnily enough, John Hurt is in the fucking Client TV show. So like, he's not in that movie. He's in like three of the other 4 there, or 2 of the other 4 that I mentioned. But like, yeah, he's in that pilot too. So like, these actors, it's like weird because all of a sudden there's like spider web of actors, especially character actors in these movies. They all are like It's almost like there's like this group of them that they get together every time we're making a John Grisham.
You know who? What we're making a John Grisham courtroom drama. I got just the guys.
Yeah, the only one that doesn't have like the most of them would probably be Time to Kill, because that one feels like it was made off to the side of the other ones. I think there's like 1 or 2 crossovers in there, but like that, of course, is also the Joel Schumacher one.
Yeah.
That was his big comeback movie after Batman and Robin, if I remember right. Mm-hmm. Or did he do that before Batman and Robin? Might have been the one in between. Trying to remember.
What was it called again?
A Time to Kill.
Yeah, okay. And Time to Kill, 1996.
Oh, that might have been the one in between then. He made it in between. Trying to remember what he did after that. That was a comeback film for him.
Batman Forever was 95, so, and then the Batman and Robin was 97.
So I'm saying he did it, or maybe it was the same year as Batman and Robin then. Because Time to Kill actually got like some Oscar nominations and shit.
Yeah, I remember. I think that's like what really made. Didn't that make Matthew McConaughey like the star, the big star? Wasn't that like his star-making performance?
Mm-hmm.
If I remember.
One of them, yeah, one of his big first ones, yeah. And same. I mean, Samuel Jackson had already done a couple things, but this is one of his big ones too, and it was one of Sandra Bullock's first big ones after Speed as well.
Yeah.
All right.
8mm was Schumacher's comebacker? 8mm sucked.
That was the one, yeah. Well, it did suck, but it did well at the box office, so yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Runner don't have any more. You don't have any more, Tom?
I got one. Oh, I actually have 2 more.
You got 2 more. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and
I'll do them at the same time though. But yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do mine, and then Rook will go to you for your final for the.
I'm surprised you haven't figured out what the last 2 are yet.
Oh yeah, I know they are. I know
you
they
figured
are.
it out. You remember now?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I remember. I know what you did. So I'll go ahead and do mine. Mine's a 2 movie thing, and then we'll get to Rook's Revenge of the Nerds. But I got Sorority Babes in Slime Bowl, Bowl-O-Rama Parts 1 and 2 from Full Moon. So I'm trying to get the glare there.
I don't know if I got Part 2 yet. I think I watched it on the Full Moon app, but
yeah, it's got a great shower scene in it.
I don't think I finished it. I think I kind of fell out. I can't remember.
I can't say it's not as good as the first one. It's not as good as the first one. But I commend them. It's directed by Brink Stevens, who is in the first movie. She's legendary scream queen. The puppet isn't as good. It's a different voice, but I give them credit because they do their best, and I didn't hate it, so I liked it. And like you said, it does have a really great shower scene with 3 chicks just rubbing on each other's titties. So there's that in the sequel. But no, it's fun. It's fun. For those of you who don't know, Sorority Babes in the Slime Bowl Bowl-O-Rama. The first one, essentially, it's about these 3 nerdy guys in the first movie and they sneak over to the sorority house girls to watch them being, what do you call it? When they pledge a fraternity and sorority, whatever. To watch them, to go through the whatever they got to do. And it's got Michelle Bauer, Linnea Quigley, and Brink Stevens in it. Basically, those girls, other than Linnea Quigley, this is one of the few movies. The first one is one of the few movies where Linnea Quigley does not get nude. She does not get nude, but all the other girls get nude. And so these nerds sneak in and watch them get naked and take a bath together and everything, and then they get caught. And so the head sorority girls send the 3 nerds and the pledges to this bowling alley to steal a trophy. And while they go there, they end up meeting Linnea Quigley's character, who's robbing the bowling alley. They knock over a trophy, and out pops a magical imp who will grant them wishes. However, their wishes end up bad. So they spend the night in the bowling alley running from this imp, and he's using these girls as like his weapons and stuff with the wishes and all that. It's a fun movie. It's a full moon movie. It's an 80s movie. It's cheesy. It's goofy. It's over the top. It's got good TNA in it. And the second movie is only like an hour and 2 minutes. It was made just recently in 2023, directed by Brink Stevens. It was just put out by them. Sadly, Linnea Quigley did not get to reprise her role. I know, I'm very cultured. What can I say? I like the finer things in life. Sadly, Linnea Quigley does not reprise her role in this movie for the sequel, because I think she like broke her leg or foot before they were starting to film. So they replaced her with Kelly Maroney, who fills in as like Linnea Quigley's sister at the head of this new sorority. And basically the same plot, except it's now in the present. They're sent to a bowling alley. They knock over a trophy, and imp pops out. It's not the same imp. It's like the spawn or a cousin of the imp or whatever. And basically the same plot of the movie. He grants some wishes. The wishes go bad. They're stuck in the bowling alley. They got to get free. So that's basically the movie. And there you go. There you have it. That's Sorority Babes and the Slime Bowl Bowl-O-Rama parts 1 and 2.
They got some balls.
Damn.
They got some balls and some good titties.
Nice.
The first one's worth it. I don't mind the second one. I like the second one. It's just
I'll have to give it another shot.
Yeah, it was good. And it was filmed the second one was filmed in Cleveland, Ohio. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah. But there you go. There is my final picks for the night. So let's go to you, Rook. I know you went. I hope you don't turn the crowd on you tonight, but go ahead.
We'll see. I have the light behind me today because I have a fan on up here, so not gonna have it shining bright. This was recommended.
He actually cleaned his room. Holy shit!
It's been clean lately. Okay.
But it looks like really clean, except for the bed not being made. But we'll let that slide.
Bullying me, gosh! I'm gonna change.
All you gotta do is clean your room.
I know, gosh. Highly recommended by FanZcene and Tom, and I've heard about it for quite a while, but never watched it. I thought I watched it before, but it was something different, and so I watched The Revenge of the Nerds.
That's a horrible cover, though.
Got the DVD.
I hate the panty rated edition.
Yeah, I hate that.
No, it was the cheapest one that was there, and so for having not watched
and they owned it back then.
So it is okay.
Oh Lord, here we go.
Oh, here we go. It's another one of these situations.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Oh, you're killing me, Smalls.
But I feel like that could be partially because growing up, I've seen this type of thing all the time. So it's like it's okay. It's an okay one. A lot of the jokes, I think I've seen their type of jokes before. Like he's under the covers. I've seen the American Pie Sex Drive type of jokes as well with those, which I found funnier back in the day. Like, you know, for one of the first ones, he's got the covers pulled up on him right away, and you assume he's naked or something. They're there because mom comes in, dad comes in talking with him, and they uncover it, and he's just fully dressed. And I was like, yeah, I mean, that kind of expecting that, or he's naked. So, all right. There's a lot of jokes that seemed like if they went a little bit further, a little bit more punchier, I don't know, I might have laughed a little bit more. Some of them just felt kind of flat for me for the humor with it. John Goodman, I've never seen him that young before, I don't think, in anything. You guys are oddly quiet.
I mean, we could go in
Arizona?
circles. We could go in circles about this, but
I've lost a little to fight with him too.
Yeah, it's just
like
continue.
When they get to the campus, they're hauling their luggage across, and it's supposed to be funny that they're kind of, you know, clumsy-ish and walking around and people are crashing around them. But all I kind of saw it was like, I mean, the guys with the bikes could clearly see them. Why can't you just go around? So it wasn't very funny. It just seemed like, yeah, people aren't watching where they're going as well as them. So it's not very funny of a joke. I've seen clumsy done better. It's kind of my point with that sort of thing. I've seen tons of things that do similar stuff to this, which I feel maybe have, hit it better comedically. But
all that stuff you've seen tons of stuff better of. It's because of this movie,
and I understand that. I can respect that, but still, it's just not hitting. It's not hitting the funnies the same way. So I don't know what else to say with that. They show the frat guys, and they're just fratting it up like any other frat situation. It seems like I know that it might have been one of the first, but for me, it's like the 1,000th time I've seen that sort of thing. So it's not funny, really. It's like, yeah, it's a frat party. If they're in a horror movie, these guys would be the ones that you want to kill. If this was another comedy, they're the jocks again. So it's just a scenario that is constantly played through my existence, like these sort of things, the nerds and then the jocks, like that's always a thing. And this is just not, if it's different, it's just that they're a little bit more, there's the one guy that's more aggressive with it, but it's not that funny. So I'm watching it like, yep, here we are. And they burn the house down. I'm just like, okay.
Our house
is on
find it
fire.
that funny. There's some parts in here I found kind of funny, some jokes, some moments. So I'm not saying that it's a bad movie, but I feel, for me anyway, it feels overhyped in what it is. But
Rook,
I believe this is strike 3.
Rook, you are the reason why this stream is going to go for more than 3 hours.
No, that's fine with me. I'm hoping that the viewership goes up for FanZcene on this. Come on, guys. I don't like it when you guys are quiet. It's better when you
probably that's the fucking problem, Rook.
The viewership's going to go down with this.
Are you kidding me right now?
Like, there you go.
Motherfucker has gotten us just like to the point where it's like, I don't like anything good.
That's right. So true.
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh man.
And it's making me question whether you should even make movies.
All right, that's fine.
No, I'm sorry. That was kind of mean. That was kind of mean. That was kind of mean. I didn't mean that.
It's this kind of one where I can respect where it came from. I can respect that it might have set some of the tone for other ones. No, you're good. You're good. And we're in. I came in this prepared for debate and arguing. This is what we
but
do.
You mentioned all the movies and stuff that you mentioned wouldn't exist if it wasn't for this movie, right? Like this was like this was our Animal House.
Yes.
Like I don't know how else to explain it. And all the things that you said, Sex Drive is a pitiful fucking patch on this movie. Like the movies that you mentioned wish they could be Revenge of the fucking Nerds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, American Pie is the only one that kind of comes close, but that has more lineage with Porky's than it does with this.
Yeah.
I guess so. I guess my thing is because I've seen different variety, whether it's in TV shows, whether it's in other movies and stuff. Like, there wasn't anything in this that I thought was particularly unique.
I'm surprised you didn't see the similarities between this and Superbad.
Yeah, this is very similar.
Well, I didn't have as much of an attachment to Superbad either. Like, Superbad was fine. I liked Superbad, but it wasn't like I saw it once and didn't really come back to it again.
Even Siskel and Ebert gave it 2 thumbs up.
That's fine.
That's I think.
Fine. No, so
I remember right.
So like
they didn't like the sequel, but
so I want us to bash some heads here. So the jocks burned down their own house and they're roasting some marshmallows and they need some room, so they go kick the nerds out of their place. All right, fine. They throw them out of the windows. Yep, they're weak nerds, and that's what they do. The jocks do that to nerds. Yep. And then the nerds go to sleep in the gym, and one guy has allergies, they all probably have allergies. All right.
This is painful listening to him. You know that, right?
I know that's just.
I mean, I'm telling you. I mean, these are what happens in the movie, and it's just like, okay.
I'm
it's
just
like
enjoying.
this-
jokes.
I'm just enjoying.
It was
the
a little.
banter.
It was a little funny how they
But
approached.
you just get happy
sorority,
because you
and
don't.
they
You
were-
normally the one getting a shit. Now you're actually like
No, it's
not
great.
getting any shit.
Well, I actually like Revenge of the Nerds. Like, I grew up watching it with my dad, so like I actually have a better connection to this movie than Rook, so that's why.
That's fair. I get it. I'm just giving him a lot of shit, but man, it's disappointing.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's one of the things with comedy that sometimes some things aren't going to hit, and this is the type of thing that, again, so picture it from my perspective. Growing up in the 90s, everything I grew up with is situations like this that is on screen. So, like, when I'm seeing this now, it's just, okay,
That should tell you how influential that was.
Yeah, that's how influential that movie was.
Well, right, but I don't see how that makes my viewing of it better as far as like enjoying the scenes. It's like, yeah, this is where it came from, I guess, and that's neato.
I mean, I guess I don't know. Sometimes I
All right.
question your sense of history.
Well, I mean, I've explained this before, which has gotten me a little
I'm
bit
not
of heat.
mad.
If you guys
I'm
remember,
just disappointed.
like what was it with?
Yeah, that's where I'm at now.
So it was kind of like with Citizen Kane, learning that it's one of those foundational movies that set the stage and techniques and breaking ground for lots of things. I can respect a movie for that, but like I didn't enjoy the movie, so like I don't know what else to say.
What movie do you like?
Tons of movie, man. The Brady Bunch movie was excellent. Let's go
listen,
down my whole thing here. Planet of the
I
Apes
enjoy it
trilogy,
too,
Tremors, Ferris
you know
Bueller's
what?
Day Off.
I will kind of
Stargate.
defend. I will kind of sort of defend Rook on the Citizen Kane thing. Watching it the first time, but I liked it more when you give it a second
Fucking
viewing.
masterpiece, man. I don't care what anybody says.
It's fun.
That's
It's
cool.
fine. I don't know.
Let's go
I
to.
still have the VHS of it, man.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a child, I enjoyed childish things like the Brady Bunch and Little Big Giants or whatever the fuck it was last time. But then I became a man, okay? And I had to put away childish things.
Mm.
And I started to appreciate the finer things in life, like TNA.
Oh,
Yes.
I have to.
Like TNA.
And Revenge of the Nerds has some major TNA, and they've
it
got
does.
Bush.
It does. Yes.
They've got Bush.
We've got Bush.
This is
Hair
boring.
pie.
Calm down.
Yeah, so this might be one of those things. I think Tom will understand this more with it.
One of
So
the most
like
quotable films of all time.
So like South Park probably took lots of jokes from Revenge of the Nerds.
Yes, there's
probably.
like I think a specific episode where they even copy the whole movie. Yes,
Possibly. If there is a like even the Bush thing, we got Bush. Like I've seen. So like I guess there's potentially a. That's what I'm saying. Like by the time I'm seeing this, the jokes have been repeated a lot. Like even in the South Park, it's like we got full Bush. We got full Bush. Like I've heard that before. So okay, knowing that this is the origin, all that does to me is say, well, that's where that came from. So that's good. Yeah, all right. But I don't. That's all that is to me. It's not. I don't have a connection to this. I should just go through what I liked in this, I guess, to comfort you guys a little, give you a little bit of comfort with it. I liked when they were setting up when they were setting the party for the guys, and they're setting up the party. I liked she's like, they don't seem to be liking the music, and they changed the music. And it's just a swing low, swing chair, just like I assume that's a super black song.
Oh my god!
From the back in the day. I thought it was going to be like a Song of the South or something.
Yes, it is. It's a slavery hymn. Yes.
Yeah. So I thought that was a little funny. I was like, okay. The look on their faces, and the other guy changes it. He's like, nope, change that. Nope, not great.
Are you ready for the sex, girl?
I like how it's a little funny how like the nerd chicks are like super horny even though they're nerd chicks, and like one of the jokes that the nerds have is like, you know, jocks are all they think about is sports and all nerds think about is sex. So it's like, okay, that's kind of funny. There's a lot of jokes that just I'm like, yeah, I get them, I get it, all right, but I'm not laughing. So that's how a lot of them kind of come off, you know. Even the name, the lambda, it's lambda, it's like, yeah, okay,
It's a real fraternity.
All right, but
you didn't even get the joke of that, did you?
I don't get what's funny about it. It's just
lambda is a black. It's a black fraternity.
The all black fraternity.
And the only reason they got in is because they didn't send a goddamn picture. I'm really starting to question if he actually really watched the movie, if he sat there and scrolled his phone the whole time.
I gave it my full attention, surprisingly. And I was just like, okay. Well, yeah, I know that their thing was they needed a sponsor, and they were looking for people, and they're the only ones that responded to them. Yeah, you said because they didn't include a picture. Yeah, I get the joke. It just wasn't that funny to me. Just like, okay, yeah, they're got in because of that. All right, I guess I've seen funnier things than that, I guess.
Do you not understand the stigma that nerds were under at that time? Like, that's part of the joke.
Mm-hmm.
Even
like,
their scene is even lower than black people at that point. Like, oh my god. Like, even the black people are embarrassed by having them around. Like, do you not get it? Like, that's part of the joke.
I get it. It just wasn't very funny to me. Yeah, that's there. All right. Yeah.
All right. Well,
I like how I've killed FanZcene. I've killed them.
Yeah, just
so let's see.
I just don't even know how this is possible. I don't think I've ever heard anybody ever in my life ever not love this movie.
The little kid that's with them because he's a genius.
Wormser.
It's like trying to talk to the women, and he's like at boob level, and he's trying to talk about his life. He's like just looking at the knockers. That was kind of funny. That's a little funny.
Just stop.
Mm-hmm.
Just stop.
Letting the pigs loose. I kind of thought they were going to go with something a little.
I got to do this. I got to do this because I got to know what you thought about this character, because I want to see Tom's reaction. What did you think of the character of Booger?
He was a little funny.
Okay.
Have you ever seen
when he was arm wrestling? I thought it was funny. He wiped his nose and just beat her.
Have you watched American Dad?
No, I watched Family Guy, Futurama, South Park. I've started to watch The Simpsons. Watched a little bit of The Simpsons here and there. I'm slowly breaking through The Simpsons to watch those because I haven't seen The Simpsons before.
Have you seen Supernatural, the TV series?
I've seen like the first 4 seasons of Supernatural.
No.
Kind of lost interest after a while. What's your point?
What Tom and I was getting at is like the guy that plays Booger does a voice on American Dad. He does one of the kids.
And the kid's name is Snot.
Yeah, his kid's name is Snot. And I was just trying to see if you recognize because he's in Supernatural.
It's a direct reference to Booger. Yeah.
His name's Snot on American.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, I've almost wondered, like, if where the name Poindexter came from, if it originated in this movie, or if they just named him that because he looked like a Poindexter.
Yeah, that's what I wondered too.
I always wondered that. But I think it's actually something else. But still, like, oh my god.
See, I feel like if I didn't grow up with everything having this sort of premise, then maybe I would.
This is what I was saying.
Funnier. Like when again, so think about consider this too. So Big Bang Theory.
Oh god,
shoved in my face.
Here we fucking go.
We've had I think like the humor from Police Academy, which I loved. Police Academy, love that. Like, so
how can you love Police Academy but not this? They're like cousins almost. It's like
I thought it was funnier. No, I don't love everything. Not every single joke lands for me in Police Academy, but I thought it was overall funnier.
I guess Rookie likes the cousin more. I don't know.
I don't get it. I'm just trying to figure this out.
I just don't get. It's just I can understand for its time. It was one of the trendsetters.
Yes,
That's the main thing.
It was
that
more
I
than a
can get I'm getting
trendsetter.
out of this for its thing. It's
like it is a movie that has like embedded itself into the culture. Like this movie is one of the reasons why nerds are no longer considered
right.
nerds.
So right,
or,
but I
you
grew
know,
up
like-
in the generation where everything is about how nerds are.
I get it,
are
and I was
more
just going to
than
say
stuff.
that's the problem.
Like that is
That's the
Yeah.
problem, and that's why you
It's-
can't make a movie
yeah.
like this now.
It's like I'm just
Yeah.
seeing this, and it's like, all right, yeah, I can. It's neat. It's neato to know this was in the before times, and it's a good thing that it happened, I guess. Or was
But-
it? Would you say? It was a
Okay,
bad
but okay,
thing?
can you, have you never seen a movie that had slaves in it, or it was about slavery, and you couldn't?
I've seen some stuff, and yeah, I mean, there's some things I can do that.
Like, I mean, it's kind of like the same thing, or like a movie about racism or anything like that. Because that's really what this is.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
just
they
a-
even put burn nerd sign in their yard like a burning
Yeah.
cross.
Well, like I
Yeah.
said, there's a direct line of, like I said, at this point in history, it's like the irony of ironies is that, yeah, the black guys are even technically not racist, but, you know, bigots or whatever you want to call it towards the nerds at first, right? Because even they're like, they're a bunch of fucking nerds.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
You don't get the stigma it was growing up to be a nerd in the 80s at all.
No.
I'm sorry.
No, I don't. No, I
Man.
didn't experience that. No,
It sucked.
With,
Let me tell you,
the
it sucked
age-
being a nerd.
the Asian
But now I
guy.
like it.
Is he the same guy that's in Police Academy? The Asian guy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's like the least funny Asian ever, and
That's Leonardo.
he's Royo Fresh. Yeah, I get it. I feel like South Park does better Asian stuff, humor than that guy. He's so basic. It's just like, oh, there's no
But the funny
real
thing,
effort with his comedy.
funny thing is, there is no South Park without this movie.
Okay, and South Park. See, this is one of those things that I know you guys. I just feel like won't get it either. It's like original things, the stuff that comes after can be better than the original sometimes.
I'm not saying
all the
that's
time.
not
Not
true,
all the
but like,
Yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds. I'm not saying that it's. I'm not saying that there's any particular movie that's trying to be similar to that is better. Because at the top of my head, if I try to think about all of them, I don't know. If I thought about Sex Drive, I would have to rewatch that movie to know if I even still like the movie because I saw it once.
now that has more
let's
in
see.
common with like other things, but yeah, that's
American
more or less like
Pie
a
and
rip off
other
of a
stuff.
Sure thing.
Like this, I thought there was like National Lampoon movies or something. That was why I thought I saw this because they seem to have a similar approach to this, but I didn't even really like some of those. Some of those were okay, but so those didn't all hit me the right way either. National Lampoon ones.
There's only really a few real National Lampoon movies. Once you hit a point, they just slap the name on,
I
Yeah.
guess so.
on the movies that weren't even actually anything worthy of that. But yeah,
I guess so. That was funny.
this is the direct descendant of National Lampoon's Vacation. Or National Lampoon's Animal House. That's true.
Mhm.
But it's a genre, right? Like this was a genre at this time, and this is one of the best of the genre. And so many films and television shows. Big Bang Theory directly owes a lot to this movie. A lot of things go back to this movie.
Mhm.
I just don't understand why you don't see and you're not even seeing some of the more obvious elements of the film. I guess it's just I don't know. It's just disappointing.
Yeah, just one that I didn't watch it and didn't find it all that funny. They did the trike race and he's not drunk.
Consumers.
It's just like, okay. All right. I don't know. It's just like, all right, these are time on the thing. Let's see. Was there something in there that I liked with that? I thought that the pie thing, they're like, what's up with the pie? And it's the nude pictures that they took of the women or of the guy's girlfriend or whatever. That was funny. The nerds were out selling them because of nudity and they lick the plate, essentially, just whipped cream on a plate. Wasn't even really pie. Yeah, the booger guy wiped his hand and was beating the jocks with that. The one guy sneakily screws the cheerleader, or screws around with the cheerleader. I guess that was a little funny, but then they have some sort of rock dance concert thing at the end that they do, and that like makes them win the thing. I don't know what I was supposed to get out of that. John Goodman has a very emotional speech about how.
Do you know why they have to win?
So that they can be the president of the council things to make the voting decisions. I get why. This is the thing. I'm following a lot of what's going on in the movie. It's just not that.
Well, you're sounding like you're not, and that's what we're trying to like grasp here. Is like, okay,
it just doesn't end up landing for me as like funny. Like, so with their band thing at the end, it's just supposed to be like, look at how silly they are, and then they win, or
they use their nerd talents to make cool music.
Yeah,
and it's better than what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
So they get everybody's vote, hence they get the points they needed.
God damn it!
They knew they couldn't.
I get the purpose, but
they knew they couldn't compete with the athletes, right? And that's the thing is all these things, these events were aimed towards more like the athletes, right?
Yeah.
So they did whatever they could to come up with ways to make them give them the edge. Didn't always work, but this was one time where they knew they could come up with something because they're all talented. Like, I don't even know if you really understand what a real nerd is. I think that's part of the problem.
I want to rewatch this movie now.
I don't know. I mean, because like I know maybe you've grown, and I get it. I get it. You've grown up in a world where nerds and human beings stand side by side, but you don't understand where there was a world where nerds, geeks, and spazzes were treated like fucking aliens.
I get that. That's what that's what everybody will tell me. Sure, yes.
And they weren't athletic. They weren't good with girls. They were really good with computers and math and science, and they usually ended up becoming doctors or computer engineers or scientists and stuff.
Like the most commonly pushed in my face trope of things. Yes, the nerds. Yep, that you barely touch them. Ow, when they're really smart, and they may not be getting all the girls now, but by golly, they'll be smart and rich and have the best jobs when they get older. And the jocks are dumb and stupid, and they're not going to amount to anything. Like that is like 1,000 times everything in my face.
I get you, yeah. See, but this was like one of the first times, right? Like that's what I guess you're not taking into consideration. This was brand new.
I'm considering that, but as I'm
like the closest thing to it was Animal House, right? Like that was my point.
Yeah, but I haven't seen Animal House either.
At this point, I don't want you to.
Yeah, I mean, no, please don't watch Animal House.
Fucking ruin that too, Jesus Christ!
Oh, that's so funny.
Whatever you don't see Short Circuit, don't see Animal House, don't watch
the context. I'm taking the context, and then I'm watching it,
80s
and then I'm like, okay, like maybe they laughed at this. This was a hoot in the time.
Wait,
I'm not.
Rook, I got a question. Have you seen the Blues Brothers?
No.
Okay, I'm very worried that you'd watch that.
Yeah, don't bring it up.
I'm so sorry. That one's a childhood favorite.
Trading Places?
Oh, you did watch that.
Eddie
Murphy and Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, if you don't remember the
yes, I did.
Well, no, that one either.
I thought it was okay. I thought there were some parts that were funny in that one, but overall, I didn't enjoy it to the same degree you guys.
And then he sits here and he wax intellectual about Little Fucking Giants, right? Like, and I don't think he sees the irony in this. Little Giants is a horrible fucking movie. It's a movie that's so bad that nobody remembers it on purpose.
He had a full analysis of how great it was.
Like we fight to keep
Come on, Rook, that made you
Revenge of the Nerds in the not so much like it's relevant, but like they have been trying to keep this movie down and tear it down and put it into this obscure little hole memory hole for
which
years.
I don't want them to do. I want it to
and
remain
like, yeah,
as
so like
prevalent as
for
it
me,
can
I
be.
guess that's where my disappointment comes from, is like, I guess I don't see where you see, I guess you're not seeing the importance of this film, and it's because of your age, your inexperience as far as the time period, and compared to what we experienced. I guess that's fair, but normally you're sometimes pretty good at seeing.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. You've seen me.
Like even
and I
Karate Kid, you
discuss
like
movies
those, but like
and stuff.
those have been ripped off a million fucking times. Like we've seen Karate Kid a billion different ways. Like
Three Ninjas.
Three Ninjas is literally Home Alone and Karate Kid. Like
Yeah.
even
but those-
Sidekicks and stuff is Karate Kid. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've only seen a couple. I haven't seen the much. Again, I think you guys vastly underestimate how many movies I've seen in my lifetime, and the majority of movies I've seen have been in the last couple of years.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, now let me readdress this. I guess more so, it's like people like myself and in the chat, and I'm sure Greg and stuff. What we're trying to figure out, because we've been doing this with Runner for a while now. And I'm not trying to compare you to Runner at all. I'm just using him as an example.
That's fine.
Even if a movie, yeah, even if a film is completely out of his era, he has no life experience that should even remotely come close to him understanding it or having like any kind of reason to.
Well, the reason
he has always been able to kind of step back and see stuff from the angle of this was made in this period. And he finds that like the movies that we talk about here, 9 times out of 10, Gremlins, you know, and the ones that you didn't like before too, Goonies, and what else was the other one that you didn't like?
I didn't like the Goonies.
Oh, which one was it I'm thinking of that you didn't like? That just
I was gonna say,
trying to remember.
Beverly Hills Cop. It was like
Beverly Hills Cop. There's another one though.
That was mid for me. That was mid.
No, there was another one though that we got mad about.
Ghostbusters was mid for me.
That was the other one. Like, I know Runner likes those movies. Ghostbusters.
Oh, Ghostbusters. That's right.
Gremlins and stuff like that. Yeah. So like,
well, but
I mean,
you guys have seen like other movies as well that have been from out of time periods that I've praised as well, and ones that you guys like, Father Goose. Like, you guys, I don't even know if you guys have seen that one. That was from the 60s.
I have, and I liked it. I love it.
I have not seen Father Goose.
One too. Like,
I just hadn't seen it in so long. I didn't have much to add to it at that point.
I feel like whenever I say it's because of out of time at all, it's because I'm trying to rationalize with you guys.
You watched the sequel to Old Yeller.
And I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
Okay.
No, listen, no, but let me finish my sentence here with that.
I know.
So,
I just
like,
had to
I'm
bring
trying,
it up.
and I gotta say something after you're done.
I'm trying to rationalize with you guys why it may not have come off as funny to me. So this is a comedy. This relies on laughing, right? This relies on the humor sticking, and I didn't find it all that funny. There were some parts that I did recognize as funny, but I wasn't compared to other comedies that I've seen. Like, okay, I get it. It's there.
Wow,
I get
because I would put this on a higher scale.
They weren't.
Comedy.
So like when you're talking about like him being able to step back and see something, I'm seeing the same thing. I'm just not laughing. It's just not funny. Like to me, like I get it. It's just not.
Well, that's your sense of humor. I mean,
maybe,
I guess I don't know. I
maybe,
don't know how.
But like you and I have had
because...
enough conversations where there's a lot of sense of humor that come into play with a lot of stuff that we've seen and talk about. So. Like that's the thing too. I don't think it's as easy to put. This is the thing with me. I am constantly growing. I'm watching different things from different time periods all the time. My point is, I don't think it's as easy to put me into a specific box. Especially,
I'm not trying to put you into a box either. So
I know that you're not. But I'm saying I know that the chat will think like, don't show them old movies. And it's like, old movies aren't the problem. That's not.
Well, that's not what I'm saying either. Because even the old movies, because most of the old movies that we're talking about, all the ones that we're just talking about, this included, are movies that like 90% of the people, whether they saw them growing up or they saw them now, they still like them. Right? Mm-hmm. They understand why people liked them then, if not too.
I understand why people. I understand why people
like.
I understand why people like Revenge of the Nerds.
Okay.
Like, I understand why people like Revenge of the Nerds. Nerds were picked on big time. They were seen as complete losers, outcasts, nobodies, little idiots, essentially. They're so smart, but who cares? They're dorks. They're not going to get laid, whatever. They're the outcasts of society, essentially. Put them in a hole is what a lot of people essentially saw nerds as, and jocks especially were overly aggressive about it. You know, stuffing them in the lockers, you know, spilling stuff on their clothes, breaking things that they have and that they build, try to break them down as much as they can. I fully get it. I get it. So like, it's not like I'm not misunderstanding anything with it, as far as I can tell with this. Like, I'm not missing it. It's just like sometimes the humor will hit you differently. Typically, I feel like humor is when it comes to, I don't know, maybe certain moments, certain things. When it's comedy, especially, they'll just hit you different times. Maybe, I don't know, because sometimes I would say that I don't like fart humor, but sometimes if you surprise me with it, sometimes that shit will get me. I'm like, fuck, damn, I laughed at something stupid. You know, sometimes that kind of thing will hit me. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like when it's with ones like this,
See,
like with
but
the comedy.
and I'm just gonna point this out real quick, and like you know, Tom's point about me, like it's like up top of like being in this show since like the beginning, since I started this with Greg and all that, and I was kind of in that same position you're in, where it's like, oh, now I'm watching a fuck ton of more movies and all that sort of stuff. But I don't know, maybe it's just because like I've taken a decent amount of like film history, like world cinema type courses, like fucking like when I went to like, was it like, I'm in college now, but like I took a world cinema class where it was mostly just silent films shit, and my professor made us watch like a bunch of these like French silent films and whatnot. And I'm gonna be real with you, Rook. Most of them were fucking they were a chore to get through. I'm gonna be real with you, but it's good to watch those because there's a, you know, they created an impact later on, you know.
Of course, there's value. I recognize
there's value to them.
There's value to get out of these, definitely. Otherwise, I wouldn't even try to watch them.
Exactly.
Like,
but
I
there's
recommend. That's the thing. That's the thing too. I feel like it's underappreciated. I will watch the majority of things you guys recommend I watch, and there's a lot of them that I have liked.
But of you know, some of the things of that era that I've had to watch, there's been a couple that were like, oh, this is actually pretty interesting, like Battleship Potemkin. I don't know if you've seen that one, but
I think I've heard of that one.
It's a silent film. It's, you know, it's a battle.
Mm-hmm.
It takes place in a boat and all that type of shit, a war boat and all that. It's pretty good. I was like, wow, like I actually kind of like that one. Like most of the other shit that we had to watch in class were like, fuck, I wanted to sleep through half of them, you know? But like, but yeah, like once you sort of kind of understand the history of where all these sort of come from, it's like, and I get your point on like, oh, like it's a comedy, you know, I want to like laugh at it. It's like, to me, it's like, I don't need to like laugh at it. I just sort of need to understand the context of like where it comes from. And that's not to say that I have to like it or any of that type of stuff. That's fine. Like I've had my own hot takes and opinions on certain shit that Tom and Greg don't agree with me on. That's fine. And you know, we don't have the same taste on everything, Rook. We've had certain conversations on certain stuff, but yeah, like so I think well, so, you know, like I'm not trying to compare, and not to compare me to you or anything, but like I think some of your takes just come off as really fucking shocking. I think that's why Tom and Greg are reacting the way they are.
Well, I guess I see where you're coming from with it, Runner, and I don't want to come off like I'm just blasé about something. And normally, like when I talk about a subject, I normally try to go deeper into it as much as I can, which is what I do with most things that I'm passionate for, whether it's a passionate love or hatred for something. But when there's ones that I don't feel a specific passion for, then I typically don't have as much to say about it, I guess. If I learn more, this is the thing too, there's a separation with me that I can have with a film where I could I could definitely not enjoy a film. There's certain films I could not enjoy, but I could really enjoy learning about the making of the film or what they did to get to it or the history that brought that film to be. But to me, that's separate than enjoying the film. I can enjoy the process. I can enjoy the history, what it comes from. That's what I feel like with Citizen Kane. I appreciate what has come about from it. I appreciate the landmarks that it was able to make. I have respect for that film. I did not enjoy the film. Like, there's two separate things there that can happen at the same time. And I feel like that does get overlooked a little bit, where it's like, my takes. Yeah, I don't.
That's fair, but I guess that's how you approach. But I think that's also what Runner's saying is it's how you approach the reaction, I guess. Like,
what's wrong with my reaction?
I don't know. Like, it sounds like you fucking hate the movie. Like, really, to be honest.
I don't. I just didn't find it very funny.
And the way you kind of go about it, like just the way you explain it, it kind of reminds me of like with Gremlins too, specifically. It's just like, do you even really understand what you're talking about? Like, that's where it comes off like with somebody like me. It's like, it's one of those like, it hurts my brain.
Well, it's the kind of thing where maybe it's the way that I approach it in a live discussion is different how I'd approach it in the video, where I would get to specifically what I want to say quicker. Maybe it's something I'll try to do when I'm live and when we're talking about something, especially if it's something that I'm criticizing that you guys really like, so that we can dig deeper into the meat of what's good or bad with it, or like what my issue with it, instead of, I guess, the way some of my approaches, I do meander approach it a little. I meander it with there, because that's how I kind of felt with it a little bit, just like, because I'm understanding what's going on and I'm just not laughing. I felt like it was just a little overhyped for me with it, and so I'm like, oh, okay, it's what we got. But that's me playing it up a little bit. But no, like, I don't hate the film at all. There's plenty of films that I hate, especially ones that I've watched that you guys haven't seen that I thought might be good, like a good gem, and they were fucking awful. So, like, those are ones that I can more passionately rant at, of course, too. But okay, I hear what you mean with it. I don't want it to come off like when I was talking about even like RoboCop 2. I hope nobody got the impression that I hated the movie at all, because
I think the other thing is like, and this is just kind of a funny thing, is like with the Little Giants thing, right? Like, it's a movie that nobody respects. Nobody wants to remember. Everybody hated it when it came out. We all now in hindsight know what it was all about. We know Rick Moranis was just doing whatever the fuck he could to make money at that time, just so he could get the hell out of Hollywood and go raise his kids. So we forgive him for that, but we don't forget that movie and how bad it was. But you'll sit here and you like that. It sounds like you had okay, and you think that it's a decent film. Then you'll talk about this like it's like we would think about that Little Giants movie, basically.
Yeah, because like with the way you come off, like when you talk about the Gremlins or Ghostbusters, Beverly Hills Cop, or this, it comes off like you absolutely loathe these movies the way you describe and talk about them, but then when you talk about Little Giants, it's like you're a film historian about how great it is. It's really, I think it's really your approach of how you present your feelings towards it.
Okay, well, how do you recommend I approach something that I didn't?
I don't know. That's just how you're going to be able to.
Because
you're not going to like something if you're not going to like something, man.
Yeah, if you're not going
to. To me, I mean, because I'll accept the flaws that are in.
And we also have to be a little bit more understanding on the other end of it, because like this is why I didn't say much about Little Giants and stuff like that and other films like that when you brought them on, is because I know those are movies you grew up with.
Exactly.
Right. But they may have been movies when we came out when we were already adults and shit, so we could easily just kind of disregard them.
I got you, but I'm okay with pushback. I live for discussing this kind of stuff. This is what I feel like will make me a stronger filmmaker, at least at the end of the day. Especially, you guys need to push me. If you guys can't go soft on me, you can't just be like, oh, he grew up with it.
Well, and I do feel bad for saying that earlier, but I mean, I've said some meaner shit to runners, so
go hard on me. That's okay. Well, and
this is very true.
I can take it. That's okay. That's okay. There's some things that I'll be learning.
Like, I think at times I've even said shit like, I don't even know how he survived.
Yeah, that's fine. I totally get it. I get it.
Like, I'm impressed that he is surviving and thriving in college right now. I'm very proud of him.
I've
well
got
he's
my
doing.
I've gotten my balls kicked a lot. That's for sure.
Well, you grew up fast, and you can tell, and I'm very proud of it. It seems like
you're in a good spot.
You seem like this like
thank
wide-eyed
you.
child for the longest time, and then all of a sudden you could tell this shift in you the first time we got to talk
too,
to you.
man. You look a lot older with your beard. You don't have
Much
baby
more
face
mature.
going on.
Yes.
You look
Dude,
a lot older with your beard.
Dude, I've had facial
Keep going,
hair
you're gonna be
for-
more mature than me, and then that's gonna be all fucked up.
Runner's
Dude.
older than Tom, guys, and give him a couple years. He'll be older than
Dude.
Tom.
Dude, I've had facial hair for a while, and you're just noticing that. That's
Well,
insane.
you're not on camera too often, so yeah. And from the last, I don't remember if you had it as big the last time. Yeah, there you go.
I'm laying on my bed right now.
Scruffy runner.
I'm so tired.
That's good. But no, like it's okay
Well,
if I have takes. So this is the good thing. See, if I couldn't take it, I probably wouldn't be on this show. Like,
well, in fact,
come back
I'll
every
take
week
some lumps.
for a spanking. You know,
I'll take some lumps right now because I'm going to talk about a movie that most people loathe,
all right.
and I actually stick up for quite a bit. And that's because it's not the same old thing. The creators of the original film came back together to try something a little different, a little new, a little darker, a little more serious, and it didn't resonate with the audience. But I feel it's a very overlooked film in the series, and it really gets us to the next plateau of what came afterwards, and that is Rocky V. And yeah, so I know most people just fucking hate this movie.
I don't hate it. I don't
hate it.
Now, I wish that Sly would have done an alternate cut. Now, I know he didn't direct it.
Mhm.
John G. Elvison came back to direct it, but he did write it. So he could still have done some sort of like, you know, Stallone cut or something like that. Because, and not only that, it would have been really cool to see a decent version of the alternate ending because you can go find it. It's the earlier cut of the film is out there pretty readily available online. It's just hard to watch because it's off an old scratchy VHS. And of course, in the alternate ending, if you haven't been aware, if you aren't aware of it, Rocky dies.
Yeah,
like he dies.
Yeah.
He gets beat up so bad at the end of the fight that he just dies right there in the streets. But of course, that just killed the test audience, so they didn't go with that. But
much like the Rainbow.
I mean, I love the bits where we get with the flashbacks with Mickey and the parallels with him and his son there, and the relationship that they're struggling to have, and the relationship that he has with Tommy Gunn. And it's almost, the weird thing is how this film resonates later on if you know anything about what really happened in real life with Sly's son and the real Tommy Gunn guy. So like, yeah, that's kind of the other weird part of the movie too. But no, I mean, overall, it's definitely the worst of the Rocky movies. Like, I'm not going to argue with anybody on that. But like, I would say this is definitely on a better level than anybody gives it credit for. And it's got a lot of stuff in it. And I don't know why people give it such a hard time. I've never really quite gotten a straight answer out of anybody why they don't like it.
Maybe
like
it's
the closest I've gotten is somebody said they didn't like the Don King character, but I'm like, do you not realize how big Don King was at that time? Like, how you can't avoid that character because he was such a prominent role. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't try to do a Mike Tyson character in this fucking movie.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I often think maybe people didn't like it because after Rocky 4 was sort of like, very much upbeat 80s. It had the robot and everything, and then you get this is
but
like
Rocky
90s.
3 and 4 are very similar, right? Like
exactly, yeah.
And Rocky 1 and 2 are very similar.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, they have a different feel to it, and you could tell, like, okay, Sly was trying for a different feel with this one, and he kind of was. He was definitely aiming for the fence. I get it.
Yeah.
And he may not have made it. It was kind of a foul ball, but I wouldn't say it's a strikeout, right? Like it was.
No, I wouldn't say it's a strikeout either. No.
It was a little bit different tone. It was going in a little bit different direction. He didn't want it to end with a boxing match like every other one of the films. The final fight, actually, to me, I like the final fight in this movie. I didn't hear no bell.
Yeah,
like
it's actually probably one of the best scenes in the movie is the final fight.
Yeah, well, that and that scene with him and and Burgess Meredith gets me every time.
Yeah.
Every fucking time. You know, I want to be that little angel on your shoulder that says, "Get up, you son of a bitch," because Mickey loves you. You know, and that gets me every goddamn time. And it's like,
That was
especially
probably that was the best part for me.
yeah,
for sure.
like you get that little moment, and it does the whole goes back. And I get some people are like, "Well, I don't like how he loses." It's like, well, really, in reality, I kind of was. They kind of had him living more well off than he probably would have. In reality, I don't know if he'd have been able to make that momentum last as long as he did with the kind of money he had. And then, of course, you know, I mean, he's inexperienced. Paulie has no idea what he was doing. You know, and I don't have a problem with that. I mean, Paulie's a fuck up.
Yeah.
He's a big fuck up, and I always forgive him because he's family. And you know what? It really resonates with this in the director's cut.
Yeah, because I heard you talking about how great it was, so I want to hear your thoughts on this.
If you already have this and you've seen the deleted scenes, you've seen most of, if not everything, that's pretty much added back into this version. But what it does do is it really extends and gives Paulie a lot more and gives him more of a character, and you see how sorry he is for everything he's done in his life. You know, especially when he breaks down about his sister that's not in the other version. You know?
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, he has this moment where he's like, you know, I treat you and her and everybody in my life, whoever did anything good for me, like shit. You know, what's wrong with me? And he has this just breakdown moment that's cut out completely of the other version. And I mean, there's other stuff in here, just little tidbits here and there, but it's like 20 minutes longer almost.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I thought it was a much richer experience. And normally, you know, Greg, I'm not a big fan of the extended director's cuts of things, but as far as the 4K upgrade part, 6 doesn't look the greatest, but it looks okay. I don't know if it's part of the process or what, if they did a little bit more messing around with this one than they did some of the other ones, or maybe it was the film stock of the time, one of the two. It is a darker film. It was shot a bit different than the last two films, so that might be it too. This, I had a hard time trying to find out what the master was, because I think it was mostly shot on film. But I know like all the boxing scenes were shot with the digital cameras.
Yeah, like for the HBO. Yeah.
And then I think it had a 2K intermediate originally. But here's the funky part. I think the scan was done a while back. But the stuff that for the director's cut was more recent. Because to me, it's not a huge uptick, but you can kind of see an uptick in the quality of the added scenes than in the regular parts of the film. The regular parts of the film are a tad softer, it feels like, to where when we get to like the director's cut scenes, those feel like they have a lot more resolution to, or not a lot more, I shouldn't say that. They look like they have a tad bit more resolution. So I think this scan was probably done a couple of years back when they did the other ones. But the director's cut scenes were scanned more recently. So that's probably why. So that just shows you, though, if anything, just how a couple of years could possibly make a difference. I have no idea. Or they just went back to the original files for the other movie and they maxed them out. And it looks good, though. I mean, I can't tell for sure which is which, though, because I don't know how they mastered the original one since it was kind of in that weird period of film. But it looks good. It's a very good looking film still and sounds good and everything like that. And it comes with the original Blu-ray in it. But the director's cut is only on 4K, so keep that in mind too.
Well, that's good though.
But it does come with a digital version with it, so because I know a lot of people have asked about it, and I don't know if they're understanding when I say that. Yes, you can buy it. Yes, the director's cut is only on 4K, but it also comes with the digital version of it. But the Blu-ray that comes with it is the same old Blu-ray because there's a couple things. That's the other weird thing about this one. Because these two, remember before when I showed you the other ones, they were only the 4Ks in the Steelbooks. Both of these, 5 and 6, come with a Blu-ray. Now, there's the old exact same Blu-ray from the old stuff. They even still got the Fox logo and shit on them. So this one even still has a Sony logo on it. But now this one carried over some of the special features, but not all of them. There's like a few just select things that didn't get carried over, like a documentary and a couple other things.
Yeah.
Part 5 didn't have any special features anyway, other than trailers. So,
Hmm.
but that one it's really weird how they did that. That's what sucks is I wish there was a documentary where even if it's just like 10, 15 minutes of Sly explaining why he wanted to do this version, what's different. Because there is some scenes that are like alternate scenes too, right? That was the other thing I was going to get to. Right? I'm trying to wrap this up quick because I know some.
No, go ahead.
But like, so like, there's some scenes that are completely added,
Mhm.
and then there's like a scene where like when he first meets what's her face from the first movie, when the
the
chick.
little girl.
Yeah,
But
little
she's
Marie.
dead now.
Little
Yeah, Marie. Yeah.
Like the version that's in the original movie is completely different than the version that's in here. It was a complete reshoot, obviously.
Mhm.
As he goes into this version and the bar's full, in the other version it's almost empty. In the original version that we saw in theaters, in this version it's almost full, and he, you know, everybody knows him and stuff. And the same retards are there that bug him, but they're farther down the way. And he goes and he talks to the owner of the bar for a little bit, and he has almost the same conversation he has with the owner, but in the other version he had it with Marie. There's a few differences, but otherwise they fit most of the same stuff in there. But I think it was just so they could tighten up the scene a little bit, probably, more or less.
Mhm.
So they just excised the other character. They brought down the amount of people in the bar so he doesn't have like this little bit more extra entrance, and it just gets right to the meat of him and Marie talking. And then it gets him bugging, and all that stuff's the same after that. Once they leave the bar, it's exactly the same. But then there's other parts with like her son steps. There's a few extra bits and stuff with him, which is kind of, you know, a little bit more character development with him, and you get some really nice moments with him and Rocky and stuff. And it just, in some of it's just like I said, like alternates, but not much, just slight alternates and stuff like that. But
yeah,
overall, this is a much better experience than the Rocky 4. I don't understand the Rocky 4 recut.
Yeah, he's at a different place now, and he kind of like.
Well, it's not just that.
And all that.
Well, it's not even that so much as like it feels like there's scenes that are missing. That's like if you've never seen Rocky 4, you're not going to know. You're kind of I feel like you're missing something.
Yeah.
Because there's a bits and pieces that are cut out now that it's like you still kind of need that. And he cut it out just because the robot's in the scene, but it's like it's important to have that exposition between Rocky and Apollo and all them at the table and stuff there at the birthday party, because that sets stuff up later that I'm like, I don't know if you have never seen the movie if you're going to completely understand all of the setup. Now, it is kind of a pretty standard film. I guess I'm probably overthinking it a little bit, but just to me, I think that the experience was better in the original version.
Yeah.
I mean, I see what he was going for. He was going for a bit more serious Rocky 4 to kind of be a bridge between Rocky 3 and 5, but
it didn't work.
It didn't quite work. And not only that, he put it in 2, 3, 5 for some dumb reason. Why?
Yeah.
None of the Rocky movies are in 2, 3, 5. The Creed movies are, but none of the Rocky movies are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just never understood that one.
Yeah.
And there's an extra scene with him. There's a bit of extra stuff at the beginning. Now, here's the only other thing that I don't understand. There was one deleted scene that they didn't add into the movie that you kind of need for context, but not really. Because Paulie moves out of Rocky's house in with his girlfriend. And that's like completely cut out of the other version. Now, they don't show the scene where his girlfriend comes over to collect his stuff that's in the deleted scenes in the cut, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you kind of need it there for context because he brings it up later in one of the other deleted scenes. When he's crying and he's having his breakdown, he's like, "Can I move back in with you?"
That was a good Paulie.
Well, he's having his big breakdown and shit, and he's like, you know, and he's just like, "I just moved." He's like, "I thought you was living with your girlfriend." like, wait, what? Like, when did he move out? Like, I think Sly missed that scene. It's like, yeah, you kind of need that scene in there. And he might have left it out because the actress is just really not that good. That's probably why. But like, because he comes home and there's this chick in his house, and he's like, "Oh, hey," and I forgot what he said her name was. And she's like, "Paulie wants me to get the rest of his things. He wants to move in with me for a while." And it's after him, and it's right after the stuff at the beginning. He's like, "I can't do this no more."
Yeah.
You treated her good. I treated her like crap. I don't want to remember that. You know, that scene.
Yeah,
Like, it's right after that. So like he goes to work, comes back, and she's there at the house. And he's like, well, what's going on? You know, and he's like, Paulie just wants to leave. He can't deal with it no more, blah, blah, blah. He wants to come live with me. So he's like, oh, okay. You know, and so she starts gathering the rest of his stuff up, and they have like a little back and forth thing. You know, it's not bad. Like they're different, you know, they're friendly, but it's just like a little tidbitty scene. Like they didn't even have to have the whole scene there, right? Like it could just, because there's other scenes in here that in the deleted scenes, there's stuff that he left out still. Like he didn't have the whole scene in there, just some of it, right? Like, so it's like, well, why don't you just put the whole thing back in? I guess I don't know, but I like it because he didn't detract from it. He added to it outside of the few alternative shots, right? And they do add a little bit more richness to it because you get to see Rocky. You know, clearly has knows some of these people and stuff like that. So yeah, and just how his life goes. You get to see a little bit more of his daily routine and stuff with the kid and stuff before they pick up the dog and all that kind of stuff. And there's just little extra tidbits here and there mostly. Yeah. Oh, and there's another bit when he just before the training bit, because you know in the movie it cuts right to him, the old trainer guy from Apollo. I forgot his name now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And he's like, you know, he's like, strength, you ain't got any.
Arthritis.
You know, speed, you ain't got it. You got arthritis. You got yeah. So there's a scene before. There's a whole bit before that in this version now where Rocky's getting in the training. He's getting his ass kicked by one of the sparring partners and shit. So it's like, and it's like he's like a half-ass second guessing this whole thing. Like, Duke, thank you.
Duke, yes, Duke. Yeah.
We gotta teach you blunt force trauma.
Hit power. Yeah, I mean that's true because if you look at it, without Rocky 5, you wouldn't get Rocky Balboa, which is an incredible movie, and it has the speech everybody uses of Rocky comes from that movie. It's like life is going to hit you. It's not how about hard you can get hit. It's about how hard you can get it and get back up. So that comes from Rocky Balboa. That doesn't come from
keep on going. That's how winning is done.
Yeah. So that's like used for everything now. So it's like you would think that came from the first movie. No, that comes from Rocky Balboa.
I love it. Did you see when Biden said that shit?
See that? He said that.
Wait, what?
That's from Rocky.
Biden said that.
Biden goes, my father said that it ain't how about how hard you get hit, it's about how hard you get hit and get back up. I said, dude, that was Rocky.
Oh, fucking Christ.
Oh, my God. What? That is so horrible.
Fucking A, dude.
Oh, my God. He's just still as shit. People, they're just his writers are just writing it. Let him say it. He don't give a shit.
At least credit the movie, damn it.
Well, they didn't write it exactly the same, but it was almost the exact same thing. But they were trying to play it off like it was something his dad told him. It's like, motherfucker, just like somebody watched Rocky Balboa the other night. You know that, right?
They just wrote it in a speech.
And it wasn't even a speech; it was a tweet.
Oh, tweet, yeah. So,
and I retweeted it with the Rocky fucking gif where he actually says the whole quote. That scene is like, yeah, so everybody loves that scene. That's the scene, you know.
That is so bad. Yeah, that's like
that's the iconic speech.
Yeah, that scene is like really cemented it. Which is weird.
Sorry. No, I was just gonna say Rook. I think Rook still needs to watch the Rocky movies.
Which I have, but I have not sat down and watched them all yet.
No.
Wait, so you have seen some of them? Is what you're saying?
I've seen like clips that people show.
You do realize that Karate Kid is just stuff. Rocky, right? Little Rocky.
That's what I hear. True. Yeah, that's like similar premise, pretty much. Especially with there being a tournament and stuff. 5.
That's even was a joke that Joe Alvison made, the director, because he directed Rocky.
Well, like Ralph Macchio just said, they pitched one of the pitches for was Rocky meets Karate Kid was one of the movies they wanted to make when he was, you know.
Well, he was filming the beach scene, and he's like, can I wear some like moccasins or shoes in this scene? And he's like, why? He's like, well, it's a little rocky here. And he's like, yeah, that's what everybody says about this movie.
Yeah. But no, they pitched that to him. The Ralph Macchio is like, we want to do Rocky meets Karate Kid, and you know they pitched it to him after like the third movie or a little ways after the third movie. Yeah. So it never happened though.
Right.
But no, I really want to see. What the hell is that?
I think Runner's
Runner.
snoring. Are you snoring, though, Runner? You asleep?
I'm.
That's all I have. We're done.
tired.
Yeah, I want to see Rocky Balboa director's cut now. I need to get my hand on those 4Ks.
Well, if you have,
Yeah,
have you bought the
I'm
other
getting
4Ks
sleep.
yet?
No, not yet.
Because you can get the 6-pack now that has the fixed versions.
That's
of
what
the
I
first
was thinking
four.
about doing. I was
Yeah.
thinking about buying the big.
Just wait for it till it
6-pack.
get on sale. Yeah.
It's much like I
Warren-
did with the Star Trek.
You know-
'cause that-
You know what?
Well, the
pissed me
original
off?
4 Rocky movies went on sale for like $50, like a month or two after they came
Yeah,
out. or whatever
yeah.
it was.
I have
but
the
it's like-
first.
Go ahead.
I have the first 4 movies on Steelbook, and I fucking emailed Warner Brothers, and they didn't even fucking send shit back to me. Fucking pissed.
But I did like the same
I still
thing.
haven't got mine yet either, so don't feel bad.
You still haven't got your replacement disc?
Not
No.
yet. I got my email,
That's crazy.
but I haven't
got
got my
it.
replacements.
I got an email from them just letting me know, like, hey, like, just give us this information, and I fucking
I did all
I
that.
responded to them. Never reached back to me. I wasn't sure if I was like left out or not, or if I had to get
No,
the fucking
they're just taking
bundle.
their sweet ass time.
Okay.
Because I also let them know that I never got the Mad Max ones either.
Okay.
So I remember emailing about those two, and I never got them.
Well, I actually waited for the Mad Max.
But they might have
one.
got sent to an old address too. I don't know.
I actually waited for the Mad Max one, thankfully.
That's what like with the Star Trek stuff. I waited because I know they released like the first 3 or 4 on 4K. I was like, no,
You
wait.
can
'cause I
still
know
get
set.
You can still get the steelbooks right now on Groove. I don't know if they're available anywhere else though for Rocky 4 and Balboa, but
I wish I had waited for the Rocky ones, but like I loved Rocky since like I was in high school, so
I just bought the steelbooks this time. I'm not getting anything else. As
Yeah,
far
you're
as
not
like,
getting the set.
yeah, that's why I've been hesitant on getting 5 and 6. Is like I want to get my replacements for the first 4 that I have on Steelbook.
well, they're not going to send you a steelbook, dude. They're just going to send you the
Send me the
discs.
disc. Yeah.
Well, that's all I want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's that? Why is that stopping you? I wouldn't wait too goddamn long. That's my point. They're going to go.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't even
but
know
I'm
if that's why I was asking. Does Amazon even have them? I don't know.
I mean, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not like too worried if I miss out on 5.
Okay, yeah, they
For
do
the
have the
Steelbook.
steelbooks on Amazon, but they're going for fucking $40 on there, and they're only 30 on Groove.
Which is, that's funny because I've been noticing that some movies are a bit cheaper outside of Amazon, even with shipping here lately. So
Yeah, I've been doing more of my ordering now, either directly from the website, or Groove, or Orbit, and mainly Diabolic, or however you say it.
yeah, whatever you call it.
And those motherfuckers
too.
are based as shit.
Yeah.
I like whoever's running that shit.
Yeah, I think it's the same person. It's just more like a guy and his wife that runs the story.
Yeah, I'm not 100%, but yeah.
Yeah. But all right, I think that we've got almost 4 hours again. So
You're welcome.
But appreciate you, Tom. Appreciate you, Rogue. Appreciate you, Runner. Thank you to everybody out in the chat for hanging with us as always, and everybody at home watching the show. And as always, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
How you doing? Bitches leave.